Hello, hello, happy Friday. Welcome to our Friday weekly reading. We do this every single Friday where we get together, we ask a juicy question of the universe, and we mix our energies together and we have a good time doing it. Did you guys miss me? We didn't do the live stream last week. We were enjoying our vacation so much and we were like, okay, we should probably get back to be doing that. And we really didn't want to. And I knew you guys would understand, most of you probably, but we had a lovely time and we're back and we're here and we are ready. So today we are doing a very juicy question, which is what are they thinking, feeling whenever they're looking at you or whenever they're checking you out? So maybe you've caught this person kind of checking you out the corner of their eye. Maybe they were glaring at you, or maybe you didn't know what they were thinking. So we'll just see what this person is thinking about when they're looking. It could just be when they're looking at you overall, or when you actually catch them checking you out. Because that's more like what I intended is when they're checking you out. But for some reason I'm getting or if you don't know what this person's thinking about when they're looking at you, we'll just see what comes through in the reading. So we do have an anchor card today, which I will put up now. So the anchor card is not one of the piles. It's not one of the choices, but it is a common energy just whenever it comes out. It's like a base energy in all of the piles, kind of like that bottom deck energy, but it is Aletheia. So I'll leave that up there. You can get a good look at it because I do feel like we read the cards together. I feel like I pick up on more general messages and you might have more specific messages that come through for your particular situation. Maybe there is a cohort or a subgroup of people that also kind of resonates with. So we can all talk with each other and, just kind of flesh this out together in the comment section. So I'll leave that up for just a moment longer. You might even see this card in your mind's eye or something as we move through the readings. But here are our choices. So pile number 1 is the Kairos energy. Pile number 2 is the sustainer. And pile number 3 is the mother. So I'll leave this up here. If you haven't already chosen your pile, or even if you have, now is the time where we like to break all of the rules of the internet and have a moment of just complete and utter silence where we turn our gaze inwards. We allow the energies, the distractions, the hustle, the bustle to all just kind of drop down like sediment in a lake, just settle down and connect with that quiet, enduring part of ourselves that is that observer energy that incarnates into physical form with us in every lifetime that we have been here and maybe other places that we don't know about. But yeah, so if you want to go ahead and do that, now is the time. Whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes and be drawn in to whatever pile or multiple piles you feel drawn to. Yay! Well, rest and vacation people incoming. Yes, yes. Happy Juneteenth. Welcome back, Jess and Alex. We definitely missed you. Oh. All right. So if you need another minute or two with this, you can go ahead and pause it here. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and move into pile number 1. Pile number 1. Okay. So let's see. I wanted the deck that was under all the other decks. Okay. So, so Spirit, for pile number 1, actually tell me a little bit about this person before we go into the way that they're looking at you. You guys know I like to kind of build a context here, so I'm not flying blind. Okay. So, who is this person that we're looking into? Looking into you. Maybe this person is looking into you because I said that, but okay. So who is this person? I just saw them get like a little bit shy. Okay. I just saw the Lover's card, and then we have the High Priestess at the bottom of the deck. So 2 major arcana cards. I feel like this person is a strong soulmate. And I feel like this person is like knows that they're your soulmate. And I don't know if they're thinking about this when they're looking at you. But okay. You got the 5 of Swords, and this one's really visceral, of like that worm kind of cutting apart. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I feel like this is a person who very much views you as their soulmate, if not their twin flame. I feel like they feel that there's something between the two of you, and that maybe things were kind of like going along, and then there was like this severance, and that the two of you got kind of cut off. And I don't know if this is true or not, but don't worms, like, please don't try this at home, but like if worms get like cut, don't they like regenerate or something? Like
a lot of worms do, yeah.
Like on from both ends, or like
depends on the worm, but yeah, generally.
Okay, so like they feel like you guys maybe got like cut in half, but then like the two of you maybe like regenerated, or that you're in the process of kind of regenerating. So maybe there's been a breakup here with this person, or a kerfuffle of some kind. If it wasn't like an actual breakup, maybe there's like a hiccup in the road. But I feel like this is a person who is very much feels like you're their soulmate. They could be viewing you like move on with somebody else. Yeah, okay, devil energy. Yeah, there's like a blockage. Again, like there's some type of like severance or blockage here. Yeah, and they feel some type of way about it. So I think for some of you, they're viewing you like, they're either viewing you taking a stand that is like very like noble for yourself, and you're like very much feeling like you're going to protect your territory, or they're kind of like very much looking at maybe a person that you're moving on with, who I think is actually like very strong and very noble. So why are they showing up in devil energy? I'm so curious. The 3 of Swords. So maybe this person betrayed you in some kind of fashion, hurt your heart in some way. Maybe by not giving to you equally. I just kind of am getting that they were involved with other people, but they sort of always put you up on this pedestal, but that, again, it wasn't what you wanted. I feel like, yeah, okay, I'm actually getting a strong message here that for some of you, this person like decided maybe that they wanted to keep their options open. Maybe they said this to you, or maybe they just decided that on their own, you know, and was enacting that, and you found out, and like you kind of moved away from this person, the Death card. Yeah, so it's like very much here, like right on the surface of like what's going on here. And there's a lot of major arcana, like really potent, powerful major arcana energies that are anchoring the journey that you have had with this particular person. So they feel like things have kind of ended. Look, Wheel of Fortune. They feel like things have ended. They feel like you've gone on your own like kind of path. And I think they feel that you are growing and expanding like without them, but they feel like they want to stand out to you, that they're like the number one, or like they're the best one. But I actually feel like this is you and your energy. Like maybe this person also thought that they could forget you. And that, again, because I kind of am feeling like this person was in this like mindset of being like a player, like whatever, you know, I want to keep my options open for whatever reason. Maybe they just gotten out of a relationship. Maybe they're really young. Like, you know, I don't know. But they were just kind of thinking they were going to do their own thing. And so I kind of feel like this is tying back in now about the way that they are viewing you, like whenever they're looking at you, because this Kairos energy always has something to do with time. Like in the book, like this card is associated with time. And I always get this like kaleidoscope energy, because it looks to me like there's a person's eye, and it's like you're looking through that kaleidoscope and everything's kind of like changing forms. So I feel like this person has maybe observed you over some type of like period of time. And it maybe is a long period of time. At the very least, I think it feels like a long period of time, because everything is like shifting and changing. So at the very least, it feels like there's been a lot of movement, you know, like, okay, so maybe the thing happened and you guys got separated, but then like things started to shift and change really quickly. So it maybe feels like more time has gone by than it actually has, because y'all weren't stagnant, or like you weren't stagnant, or they weren't stagnant. It was like the situation or the way that they've watched you, like you were kind of like constantly changing, and that can be in whatever way. I just heard some of you could have changed like your hair, or like your look or appearance, or, but there was like a lot of changes. And so this person was like, kind of, what do they mean? Or they like about you? Because I do feel this person is trying to garner information. So whenever they're looking at you, okay, this is like the big message, the main message is that this person's kind of keeping their distance because of what happened between the two of you. And I do feel like this person, I'm hearing the word cowardice. I feel like there's a touch of cowardice here, where this person's not owning up to what they did that caused the breakup, and they don't, or they didn't feel like they were in the wrong. So they feel like they didn't have anything that they needed to apologize for, because they were kind of just like, I don't know, I'm hearing like, I'm just doing my thing, like, you know, whatever. Like they felt like that kind of in the past. So whenever they look at you, I do feel like it's from a distance, and I feel like it's kind of like maybe you feel this person looking at you. Maybe you're kind of like, why are you looking at me? Like, are you going to say anything? Are you going to reach out? Are you just going to keep looking at me? You know, but I feel like this person is like trying to garner information about you but visually. So like they're seeing a lot of changes in you. And again, like you could have this. I really feel like for a lot of you, this is like you could have switched up your style. You could have switched up your hair. You could have switched up the car that you were driving. You could have switched up the apartment that you were living in. So like there's these things, and this person's like, what does that mean about you as a person and where you're at in your life? And like I'm kind of hearing things like, well, should I approach? Like I think they're also they're looking for a kind of relief actually in trying to find something about you that they don't like. But it's like in terms of meaning, like they want to like attach a meaning to a change that you've made that they can see visually from a distance that would make them hate you, or like be like, oh, see, I knew, like I don't actually have to pursue a relationship with this person and allow a relationship to play out to see where things would go between the two of us. I want to just be like, oh, see, I'm glad that I didn't get in a relationship with that person. It all worked out for the best because this person is this way, when you're not any of those ways. And whatever superficial changes you may have made to your style, your hair, I don't think that it means the same. Like this person, basically what it is, it's a cop out where this person's like not actually taking a risk. Okay, again, I almost wanted to say they're not taking the time. Like with the Kairos thing, they're not taking the time to get to know you and to pursue you and to actually like engage and indulge in a relationship with you, or to pick things up wherever you started, to pick up the pieces. I really feel like there needs to be like a picking up of the pieces, a putting of the puzzle together, because this person knows that they need to put a puzzle together in regards of you. But actually, I think that was at the moment of disillusion is what I'm getting, or like dissolvement of your relationship. Because I'm seeing, and maybe I just feel like maybe it happened like very suddenly, and I feel like there was some type of misunderstanding here, and I think it ties into these traits that I've mentioned about this person. I don't know, maybe there was like certain traits that you had that were also kind of playing into this as well, but I'm just getting like this person's confusion was completely avoidable. Like, you know, there was some type of misunderstanding. It does tie into their behavior where they decided at some point to betray you with another person by being involved with other people, by telling themselves the lie that they didn't need to state that. They didn't need to respect you enough to clue you in. Like these are kind of, yes, they're partnership things, but this is like basic human decency, you know, of like, I respect you and I respect your time. Because I feel like this person felt that, I actually feel like there's a discrepancy here where this person knew it. This person knew that if they said that they were keeping their options open, sleeping with other people, going out on dates with other people, kissing other people, like you were at a point, there's something either about you and the way that you date, or you were at a point in your relationship where that wasn't going to fly. And you have every right to protect yourself physically from getting an illness, emotionally from investing any more in this person and having somebody else, you know, kind of clouding up the mix, you know, like there is a courtship period, but then there's hey, if I'm going to keep investing in you with my time and my emotions, then I need to know that this is firming up, you know? And so this person just took all of that away from you is what I'm getting. Like because they weren't thinking about you. And I think they knew that you weren't on the same page. And I think that they tried to bury it, because I'm kind of seeing them try not to look at that. And so like within the confines of their own mind, and to kind of tell themselves that it was okay for them to be like doing whatever, because you never brought it up, they never brought it up, you know, kind of a thing, when they knew that was wrong, like the whole time, you know? So they knew what you were going to say, basically. They knew that wouldn't sit well with you. So they wanted to have their cake that led to whatever behavior that split you up to begin with. There was something about the splitting up, the way that it happened, like the quickness of it and the communication surrounding it. I'm seeing something shatter, and it's like this puzzle needs to get put back together. And so this person has this yearning inside their soul to put this puzzle of you, and your actions and your feelings and stuff like back together. So what that's telling me is that you were actually a lot more important to this person than they were letting on to themselves, to their other options, to you otherwise, you know, like I think that, this person wanted to have their cake and eat it too, is what I'm getting. Like they thought that like they could keep this separate and that you would never know. And so if you never knew, like they knew that you guys had they really view you as their lovers. I don't think they wanted to admit that to themselves, because I think that makes them feel like controlled in a way. Like, so this person could be projecting that out onto you. Like, oh, you're just trying to control me and my behavior, when you're like, I don't want to invest in a situation that is unstable. Okay, there's sussing out whether or not there's compatibility here and that we like each other and that we want to actually pursue something. But when you pursue something, it's risky because, you know, and so it's like, to me, this person is kind of giving away the game, like even just energetically, where they weren't planning. They wanted you to attach to them. They wanted you to keep investing in them, and they wanted to keep playing around, and they wanted to go through the motions of that, but it was their way of keeping you on the back burner for like later, where then they could invest after you had spent, I don't know, years, months, years, like investing in them without them being fully reciprocal. So there's a disrespect here. There's a dishonesty here. Like, it's not making this person look very good. And for all of this to come to the surface, which I feel like it did, somehow, like, even though this person was trying to suppress it, they can't admit to themselves that somehow the way they were acting, which was fucked up behind the scenes, bubbled up to the surface and you found out about it anyway. They never cleared it up. They never cleaned it up. So this is another thing where it's like, there's something wrong with this person's observation of you, which is like, I don't know, maybe why this is coming through in this reading, because the way that they look at you, the function that's playing for them, they're really trying to bridge a big gap in their mind from observing you silently from afar. And I can just feel your like, like, take a picture, it'll last longer, like, what are you doing? Like, lurking around me, but never saying anything, never doing anything, never taking any action, never clearing anything up. It's giving not manly is what it's not giving. Like, it's giving tired, scared, like little, the hermit, like in this deck. Oh, it's right here. I was going to say like the turtle in the shell, like they're scared, but they're not admitting it. I feel like there's a bravado about this person that they're trying to kind of like suave, like, with this, like with the guys, like, yeah, I was fucking around on her, but like she found out. I sounded like Michael Jackson there. So, I don't know. It's like that voice, like they're trying to make themselves sound like, innocent or something, that like, yeah, I was fucking around on her. And like, I don't know, like, why, what she was expecting of me. I mean, like clearly, like it's crazy for her to expect like, and he misuses the word here, just so you know. It was crazy for her to expect like, commitment at this stage or like blah, blah, blah. That's not what you were expecting, was it? So that's where he throws people off. And that's also where he avoids himself and he avoids his accountability. Because I don't think you were actually looking for commitment. I think you were looking for honesty. I think you were looking for intentions. I think you were looking for him to declare how he feels about you, how he feels about these other women, why he feels that he needs to keep that open. And I think that you... so that you can know who you're dealing with here. You expected communication, clear communication, open communication, because what that would have said about him is that he respects you as a partner. That, yes, okay, this is actually a decision that's coming from a place of need and not a place of his absolute worst, lowest denominator self. And that he is not in a partnership, somebody who's going to override you, your needs and your feelings with his own, not even needs, like his own id, his own like lowest, grossest self, which is exactly what happened. And he is running away from that. So he needs to like put the pieces together. And I think like he's trying to put the pieces together of you in that moment. Because I feel like there's some type of like, almost like a picture in their mind, but it's almost like a meme. Like, like one of those like famous memes where just, it says like a picture's worth 1,000 words, but like the moment that you see like that meme, of like the girl with like the house burning in the background or like, exactly like what it says. So I feel like there's some like picture of you that they have in their mind that they've almost like memeified, that they just like see your face and they're trying to put that together. Like, what does that mean? What it means is that they're found out. And I also think that there could be an element here where they don't understand your communication and what you were doing in that moment, whether you were on the phone, and because I'm just getting that there's information missing. So maybe you were on the phone, they couldn't see your face in that moment, but they were seeing your face like in another moment, like where they're like, oh, did you put that together kind of thing. So they needed more information, but I can tell that they misunderstand you because they put way too much on your plate. Because I think that there was a variable that was like known on your side where it was like a big question mark where you're like, okay, I saw this or that. And I think that you were, again, expecting some type of like open communication. You were like ready with yours. But the way that you were moving, it was because this person didn't clear up something that they needed to clear up. And I think for them to clear it up, it would make them look bad in some way, or that's what they're trying to like sidestep or avoid. It might even make them look bad on two fronts in their mind, like because I think, again, like you're more important to this person than they let on. They actually do want real love and they see that with you, but they're kind of torn where they want to like kind of fuck around, and maybe you want to fuck around too, but like you're not going to you have your priorities straight. You have your head on straight. You have your heart on straight, you know, where you're like, I'm not going to harm people that invest in me and love me, you know, like that kind of stuff. Like you're not on the same page in regards of how you treat people, how you navigate life, how life moves and how you respond to life, you know, where it's like, okay, well, maybe I was expecting, like, I'm kind of getting for some of you, maybe you were expecting to be single too, you know, like maybe you had just gotten out of a relationship. Maybe you were really young. Maybe you really weren't expecting this too, but then like here this person is, and I feel like you just trust God or the universe or spirit. And you're like, I don't really make the rules. Like here you sit. So I guess this is like, I'm willing to explore this and I'm going to do it respectfully. I'm not going to smash your heart into a million pieces. And if I do, I'm going to tell you that I did it. I'm going to tell you why I did it. Even if it was like confused, I'm going to own up to that. I'm going to say, sorry, that's just called maturity, but it's also called basic decency and respect. And so I feel like this person can't quite fathom that within themselves. So like I said, they're trying to put this like puzzle together of you in that moment of like disillusion, what you were thinking, what you were feeling. And this person really could have just asked you. But I feel like there's a tough conversation here that they were also trying to like avoid. So they're not factoring that into the equation. And so instead of actually like examining that moment, which is like the thing they can't quite make peace with, I feel like instead they watch you like from a distance, like from afar over time, trying to put the piece of the puzzle of you together and of why you ended things, you know, or why you and I don't think that you did. I feel like there's been a big misunderstanding here and this person can't take their accountability. And that is the answer that they're looking for. Where spirit is like, this was salvageable. You could have had a mature grown up conversation. You could have owned up to something here. And I feel like that would really, really break this person's heart and maybe does break this person's heart. But that's kind of what it's all of this baggage that comes through when they're like looking at you, or that at least there's some type of tunnel vision that they have where they just try to zoom in on you and they don't put you in context. And I think they look at certain changes that were made with you. Again, it feels very superficial. It feels like you changed your style either of like, I don't know, like decorating or like the way that you dress or the perfume that you wear or something. Like somehow this person's like looking at those changes, but they look at them like in this tube. They don't look at like the context where it's like, well, they weren't in a relationship. If they were in a relationship with you, you guys would have been in a relationship for 4 years now. And like, it would have led them down this path or this path. So look at the changes that are made in the context of they've been kept back from their soulmate. That spirit is keeping them back from their soulmate. So what must life be like for that person? What must they be thinking about you? What must they be thinking about relationships? What must they be thinking about this or that? Like, okay, now my ears just started burning. So, it's like, that's what is being reflected in the context, you know? Because I think this person's like, well, you know, when they were with me, they were like this or that, you know? It's like, what must have changed? And it's like, okay, maybe you moved on, you started dating other people. And it's like, so yeah, there is like alchemy taking place between you and life, you know, of the kinds of people, places, and things that you are experiencing. Like you guys could have gone on a journey together. That would have been a different kind of alchemy. This person essentially like didn't choose that. I think that's the way that you think about it in your mind. I think you feel betrayed. I think that you couldn't get closure in this situation because this person never owned up to like what it was that they did to betray you in the first place. And so this person is like kind of, I don't know, like I just heard the word like dwindling. This person is really looking to see if like you feel anxious or nervous. It's also giving me the impression that maybe this person was trying to make you feel anxious or nervous. Like they were trying to make you feel like, oh my gosh, like you could lose them. So maybe like, I am just getting like, if this person was like in a vacuum, meaning I kind of feel like there's some bad guys around, like friends that are not the best of influence when it comes to stability, security, honesty, integrity, like building up like things that would lead this person down a more positive path in life. So I think that under that influence, and I don't know if it was like actually a conversation, but it was like, I think this person may have said or did something or acted in a way or didn't clear this up because they thought that it was advantageous for them to keep you in a state of anxiety about them, you know, where like maybe they are seeing other people, you don't know, like, doesn't that make you scared? So they're looking for signs of like anxiety here. But they're also scared when they're looking at it, like, because they feel insecure, you know, and they're not dealing with like their own insecurity here. So basically when it's all jumbled in their mind, like when they're looking at you, and it's changed over time, very much so. Because I think like there was just a sweetness, there was an attraction, everything was like going on the same page. And then because of like this person's actions and the influences that they keep around them, it really affected their behavior. It like very strongly, I think, lowered their vibration. And so that affected their behavior. They were doing much more low vibrational things in their behavior. And it really, where you guys, I think maybe started off more like this, then it kind of like went like this, but and you kind of noticed that there's a lot like missing here. So at first I think they were just thinking that you were their lovers, and I think they felt entitled to that even if they weren't acting right, investing right, giving you respect in the form of clarity, honesty, integrity, communication, accountability, a plan forward of how they're going to keep themselves in check and accountable to you. But it's like to an overall, because it feels like for them to connect with you, you guys have to be on the same page about living virtuously. And I don't mean that in a boring way. I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just like basic human decency and respect. That's really what I feel like you were asking for. But I feel like this person will conflate that. They'll say that you were asking for way too much. And again, they say that you were like looking for commitment. You had no right to look for commitment. But I just really feel like you were looking to know where this person's mind was at and their heart was at. Because if you're hooking up with her, I need to know why you're hooking up with her. Do you have feelings for her? Do you not have feelings for her? And you're still hooking up with her, because that's also going to give you information about this person. And, how tested you need to be, like, how long you're waiting before you are, this person needs to wait the full 2 to 3 months to get like full, a full panel or whatever. Like, like you need to know how this person moves in their life, because it tells you a lot about them, doesn't it? It tells you what's important to them. It tells you how they interact with people that they're interested in, schmegulally, emotionally, and otherwise. And that's not the way this person's looking at it. They're making you and your side of things seem way more unreasonable than it actually is. They're making it seem way more emotional than it actually is, when I actually think it's very level-headed. And I feel like it's this person that's actually emotional, because this person's behavior has not been well. And so they don't have anything to like hide behind, is kind of what I'm getting. They feel exposed. And I actually feel like you guys are soulmates. And I feel like that's the purpose of this, is to expose this person, because they need to come to you in truth to make this work. That's what Spirit's trying to say to this person. You can't lie. You can't hide. And I feel like that's like what this person has kind of done. So they're very confused. Tasha, thank you so much for the super chat. Looking forward to your truth nuggets. Yeah. So like this person is kind of watching you, and they're trying to see you in this like negative light, so that they don't have to feel bad about the way that they moved, and they don't have to feel bad about what they've done, and maybe what they've done in the meantime since your breakup, whether that was 2 weeks ago or 2 years ago. They want to not feel bad about it. They want to feel like they weren't immature. And, I just feel chauvinistic, like, trying to show off for their friends, like, trying to act like they are inhuman and that they don't have any emotions and that they don't have any anxiety. And that's not just this person's fault. I do feel like that's the culture that men have built for themselves over the last centuries and millennia, and this person's kind of trapped in that. Like there's a systemic portion of that here as well. And they view you, okay, so they think that you're really hot. They think that you're really sexy. They really like the way that you move, but they also can tell that you're very defensive and that you might strike out at them like at any given moment. Yeah, there's definitely like, they feel like there's an argument waiting to happen, and also that it would hurt. Like whatever you would say to them, it would hit the nail right on the head and that it would hurt. But they view you as a wish fulfillment. So that's why they hang back and they're just like waiting for something here to change. Look, the lovers. So the world, this person, it's like, why is this such a foreign concept that they need to like be working on their own karmas? I think they recognize that there's karma, there's a karmic blockage here, but it's like they need to be focused like on their side, like kind of, what I've heard about the afterlife and like the whole, like that you take full accountability. Like you see things like very clearly and you take full accountability for the way that things like went on in your life. You take 100% accountability. And that's not because you are the only thing responsible. It's just like, because there can be other people, like say, I don't know, say that you were an addict or something and you were like under the influence and then somebody ended you. So you would take full responsibility for like that ending, not because you were fully responsible, because clearly somebody ended you, but like you would take full responsibility of like your portion of it, where you were like, okay, I could have, like the thing that got me like addicted in the first place, I could have done this differently, I could have done that differently, because if you had dealt with like your full piece of the puzzle, you could have 100% like eliminated that situation from your end. But then also when that other person passes on, the person who like did the thing to you, they go through their life review and they take 100% responsibility for what happened, for what they did in that situation, for your demise. Because if they had dealt with whatever led them to behaving in the way that they behaved and led them to that moment, if they had fully dealt with that on their side, 100%, this scenario would have been like eliminated. And so when we take that 100% accountability, and I think it's like kind of both true, this like yes and, and I'll explain what I mean by that in a minute, but like when we take that full 100% accountability, what it means is that we can't hide behind our excuses. Like when it actually forces us to actually genuinely let the weight of what we did land so that we can actually like really process it. But I think like there's helpful ways of processing another way, because there's like a therapeutic technique. And I heard that they use this a lot with veterans that are struggling with PTSD and like following through with orders that they didn't like really agree with. So they actually go through this pie where they're like, hey, well, it's like this percentage, this person's fault because, you know, they like gave the order and it was this percentage your fault, this percentage. So you kind of like divide it up where you kind of recognize that that moment in time like came through from a lot of different things. And especially standing in the face of like a system and you've taken oaths and stuff, like, you know, that it can be hard to kind of like overcome that. Like actually doing both approaches, like kind of as like one step forward, another step forward, helps you ascertain like the overall truth of the situation. But in doing so, it's like you in taking that 100% accountability, you work through like yourself. Like you don't hide from anything. Like, I should have done this. I could have done that. There's usually the voice of like guilt, but then guilt doesn't help you actually like work through it, you know? And then like the breaking it apart, like you're still giving yourself the grace of like, well, there was a lot of variables. And yeah, it was like, I had the full weight of like this moment rest on me because nobody else was doing their part too. And that was really hard to kind of like face up to. And I feel like this person like really would benefit from doing that. But I feel like for some of you, they are thinking that you're in a relationship. If you're not in a relationship, then I feel like maybe there's a best friend or there's like somebody that you're really close to. Maybe it's your mom, maybe it's your best friend. That's like a very strong soulmate relationship, because they're viewing another relationship that you have as being a blockage here. And I can tell that whatever other relationship that is, whether it is another romantic person that you moved on with because this person was just being the way that they are, or again, if this was like a friend or somebody that really actually does care about you, that was kind of like moving you away, like from this, because this person has to clean up their act. Like they have to clean up their mess. They have to clean up mostly internally. Like they have to clean up the way that they view themselves, the way that they view the world, the way that they view their actions in the world, in order to be a person who's appropriate to be in a partnership with. Because otherwise, it's like the same pattern is going to play out in like different circumstances where this person's kind of a limp noodle. Like they just sort of you know, they're passive, you know, well, that wasn't my fault. How could I have known? A lot of excuses, a lot of like, you know, like very fragmented, like where things are like really fragmented still on their side. And I feel like they project that outwards onto you too, because things are still very fragmented for them because they haven't done the work inside of themselves. And so it's still very fragmented, like between the two of you, because they can't really bring this clarity to you. They can't bring the healing. They can't fix the situation unless they become a different person. Yeah, so look, the Emperor energy, I feel like they're really focused on somebody else that's around you. It might even be a guy, like some kind of guy friend. Maybe he's not your best friend or something, but I think maybe there was maybe like a guy, it's like a best friend, a mom, or maybe even a guy friend but this was like an actual guy friend that is like strong in himself, but also maybe gave you the lowdown on guys and like just the way that they are. And like, no, like this would be a guy that'd be like, no, like don't believe that, you know, like, okay, so what else does this person think of whenever they're checking you out, looking at you? Okay, I think this person also feels like there was maybe people at your neck for something. Like there was people that, like they could see that you were changing and like growing, and that other people were like less than understanding, like they were in the wrong. They know that there were certain people that were kind of around you, and they know that they were pointing at you or something, and that they were in the wrong, and that you were kind of like changing, because this person notices your changes. I think they're actually hypersensitive to like your changes, so they kind of knew that, but they think that you won and that you were like victorious, because I'm seeing like you growing like the butterfly wings here. Oh yeah, I was just seeing that card whenever I was shifting through. It's a 6 of something, in the 6 of swords, I think, probably, because the swords are all pointing towards the butterfly that's like in the cocoon. So you were like building your wings, and then like you're actually going to fly away. Tasha, thank you again for the super chat. This reminding me of my toxic roommate. Interesting. Yeah, so they are very much feeling like you like transformed and you got away. And they're maybe really in their head because, let's see, maybe they knew these people were toxic. Like they could have actually known that these people were toxic before you did. And they maybe feel like something had to play out before you realized that they were toxic, and they feel bad about that. Like for you, you know, that may have been another thing that it had this person made up with you and like been in a relationship with you. Maybe you wouldn't have had to learn that the hard way. Like you would have had that voice of reason. Oh, I'm seeing. Okay, so like that Lovers card and then the World card, which is the Saturn. So I'm kind of feeling like the two of you could have been the lovers together, and this could have been like your guy friend, but probably it seems like you guys were dating. And I'm seeing you fly above it. And that is like actually working through the karma of, I feel like this person was actually supposed to escort you through this time. I actually think that you guys were going to end up together. Like you're actually like lovers and soulmates and stuff. But this person needed to escort you through this time. But it's like, it's the birds, right? Like, so it's from a higher perspective. Like you could have flown right over this situation. But it's because that I think was your karma, something to do with like a group dynamics. And this person could see it, but they ruined their relationship with you and their kind of trust with you, and they couldn't be that. No, like again, what I was saying about that guy friend, where it's like, no, like that's not really the way that people are. I feel like he was going to be the one to tell you that kind of stuff about maybe guys that were around you, or maybe it's like a group of friends or people that were talking behind your back or nitpicking you as you were transforming. Like this person was meant to be an encouraging voice. Like, no, keep going in the direction that you're going. And that doesn't really make sense. That's not what these people are all about. They're saying one thing, doing another. Like this person was kind of meant to point that out to you and keep you safe from it, as you guys kind of move through. And I think in a way that's kind of clearing the karma between the two of you somehow as well. Or it's like this person would have had to work through their own karmas, which is probably the situation that we've dealt with, in order to be able to play that role and be in that position for you. Yeah, the Lovers. So now they're like all up in their head. They feel really stuck. Yeah, because this was a painful ending. This was a bad ending. And it feels like you guys got flung like in different directions, basically. They're really sexually attracted to you. That keeps like really, really coming through strong. But they also feel like they brought a lot of grief and sadness and bullshit into your life, which I don't think that they're wrong about. And they kind of feel like if they approached you, like horses are notoriously afraid of snakes. And I just feel like they feel like if they approached you, and I think this is true, like in their energy, because this is a knight, this is very adolescent energy. They need to learn how to move differently. And what's weird is like this person, the snake, moves in a particular way, like snake is the only thing that kind of can move in that like sidewindy motion. We study snakes like for their muscles, for their muscle movement, to understand like that. So I think that this person sort of knows that if they were to come up on you like this, possibly if they were to come towards you at an angry energy or like a schmegdual energy, because this person might well be in a habit, like kind of lowbrow schmegduality sort of thing, where you would be like, ew. They know that they would kind of scare you off. Yeah. So as I sit in like secret silence, just kind of looking at you as a wish fulfillment, they feel like they have a poison cup. They seem to be aware of that. Why do they think that? Okay. This person is so frustrating. They think that because, okay, we've got the Two of Cups. This person, it very well could be that they're, hold on. Okay. It definitely has some, they were really meant, like there was a mission that was kind of failed here on their side. So, they know that they didn't do what they meant to do. Like this person needed to do some work. They were there at that time as a workhorse. They needed to hook themselves up to your wagon. They needed to help you load your rocks in, and they needed to grab part of it. You were going to grab part of it, and you guys were going to walk that wagon somewhere. They needed to be a load-bearing force in your life. They needed to put up or shut up. They needed to actually like follow through. That did not happen. And not only that, I feel like this person sat like from a distance. Possibly they were in another relationship as well, that they were kind of making out. Was this making out? Maybe this person was like making out with somebody in front of you, or but like they kind of portrayed this as like their Two of Cups, when all the while this person was in this energy. So it was a fantasy. Like they were kind of like giving this fantasy that they were like with somebody else that was like their love or their partnership or something, whilst you were suffering and pulling your wagon by yourself. Like, it's a lot harder for you to do that, but I feel like you did it anyways. So that's why this person feels like they have this like poison cup where it's like, I want her, but I have no right to want her because I'm not a man for her ever. That's kind of what I'm getting. Like the man is nowhere. I'm hearing the boy is mine, the boy is mine, the boy is mine, the boy is mine. So I feel like, I think that you're like, sis, the boy is yours. You can have that boy, because I'm not looking for a boy. Yeah. So, like, So, but like kind of what I'm getting is like, for some reason I'm seeing this swan like turn into this temperance energy. Like this person has to master temperance. Like they could transform themselves in this, but it's through a purification process of like the fire and the water. So like they need to maybe get angry like at themselves for what they did. Like, because I feel like it just sits right, it sits there. It sits right on the precipice where they almost start to process their anger at themselves for not doing what they needed to do, for not getting right with you, for not getting their shit together, like in time, for sitting in this negative, nasty little boyish energy, petulant, just throwing a fit. Like this person just like threw a fit, and they created this mess. They didn't tell the truth is what I'm getting. And they offered you some type of like, I don't know, like, oh, actually, like, what is the rose of death? Because I was going to say they offered you the rose of death, because rose like typically signifies love, right? Of whatever variety, because like red is romantic love, yellow is friendship love, pink is, I don't know, like maybe it's the kind of rose that maybe it's like, oh, we're just like kind of courting, it's not really love yet. Or maybe it's the kind of rose that like your parents would get you on Valentine's Day or something, but it like signifies love. But white roses, I'm pretty sure, do signify death. But then also, like, what is a black rose? Is there such a thing as a black rose? I don't know. But it's like they gave you this rose of death, and they needed to like process that, because they're confused. Yeah, they need, like, only when they find their temperance, which I feel like this person feels like they need to really focus on building temperance from within. Like not being so emotionally like volatile or whatever. Like they need to get a handle on that, and only then can they actually see you clearly, because as it stands, this person's very confused about like why you are blocking your cup of love from them, even though they admit to like it's so weird, because this person will like give me all these reasons, and they're big reasons too, like as to why you might not want to be around them, have anything to do with them, entertain a conversation with them, and certainly like not look at them as like your equal or a love partner or whatever. Because I think this person knows that they could have been that, and that they just didn't live up to it. But it was entirely their choice. I think that's part of the karma that they're meant to learn, is like it was entirely their choice of like, do you want to live up to this path or not? But I feel like, again, I'm seeing the birds in the Lover's card, like the birds and the geese that are like in flight. Do you want to live up to this path? Because you have to like actually deal with your stuff, your traumas. I'm hearing like your whatever makes this person volatile on the inside, because that's part of what, like, why am I so emotionally volatile? Why do I also call that manliness? The answer to that question is they're around, I just heard jackals. They're around a bunch of jackals and like jackasses, but they're around a bunch of little boys who pretend to be men. They pretend like they crown their boyishness as maturity. They crown like it's little kid kind of behavior, but they crown it as like maturity, and you have to behave like that to kind of like fit in. So I think this person really needed to leave that behind. That's interesting to me too, because I feel like this person could see that there's the people around you that were nitpicking at you. They could see the problem in those people, but tell me why they can't see the problem with these other people. And I don't think that it was that they couldn't see it. I think that they liked being better than those people. I think they felt elevated. But there's like a self-worth issue here, like low self-worth, because they were trying to stay around these people that behave in this way so that they could be seen as like wiser. It's like a manufactured version of being like, wise, I think, or like, being the leader of this group, which made them feel like the alpha or like something like that. Like, oh, I'm ahead of like these people. And Spirit was like, would you like to actually take the path towards that? Like, but you're gonna have to do some work here. Like internally, you're gonna have to figure out why you are the way that you are so that you can choose to be something different. And this person knows that if they basically like, how a lot of times it's us women that will really harp on potential, like, where you're like, I could really see the potential in that guy, but why won't he be the king? I know he is the king I see inside. And like, that's kind of what's going on. But it's like for him, I feel like for a lot of you, I think you just like maybe cut this off, and you were just kind of, I think you have a bad view of this person, but you're obviously still here on this reading. So like you still feel that there's like a soulmate energy. And I think you probably are like, why are you like this? Like, or maybe you're questioning your own feelings. Cause there might be a discrepancy between your mind and your heart where, because you're like, why do I feel this certain way about this person? But then like in your mind, you look at all this kerfuffle and you're like, okay, like that guy clearly wasn't what I thought. But he knows, like, this is what like bothers him, is he knows he could have been that. He knows that was like, had he actually taken on the mantle of becoming himself, like living up to the potential of himself, or even moving in that direction, he knows that he could have been your partner. He knows that he could have been that and done that better than anybody else. He knows that for a damn fact. So that's why he's like heartbroken and like very stuck on you. And it's hard for him to kind of like start over. I also feel like for some of you, maybe this is a guy that gets a lot of attention from like the girlies, but he's not used to feeling like inadequate. So I feel like with you, he'd have to like start 10 steps back kind of thing, which is where he is naturally. But I just think that he's just good at being an idiot. Yeah, Hierophant, like, yeah, I'm just getting that, like, yeah, I feel like there was a portal that this person could have gone through. And I don't mean an actual portal. I mean, like, energetically, like, metaphorically, there was, like, this portal that I feel like that was you and your relationship. It's like I think this person's, like, highest and best soulmate, to be honest. But they were not anywhere. It was the grace of God, I feel like, that like causes person to meet you. It's like finding a needle in the haystack. And they kind of, I think that would really fuck this person up, actually. Like if they actually thought about like that, finding you would be like finding a needle in the haystack. So it didn't happen on accident. So this was really like their higher self. This was their spirit team. This was God himself that was like put you in front of him and was like, are you going to walk through this and have like a magical life? Or are you going to continue doing this weird shit? But you're always going to know that she's out there, is what I'm hearing. And that's basically the way this is played out when this person looks at you. So I kind of keep moving back around to this because this is a deeper connection. This really is. And I think that you know that, and I think that they know that. Maybe you've gotten in your head because I just feel for a lot of you, this person didn't sweep it up. They didn't like kind of put something together here. But I'm getting that the way this person, what they're thinking when they look at you has changed over time, but this person has very much been looking at you over time because they're constantly drawn back to you. Being drawn back to you is being drawn back to themselves and their higher self and the process to actually become their higher self and not to settle for what's going on over here. And a lot of it has to do with their friends, but also I just feel like they would even like when it comes to their lovers, like they're gonna, it's people that they feel like they can control. It's people that they don't respect. It's people that, possibly they feel like they deserve, like as a punishment for their behavior. So people that they would know are kind of like that are very controlling with them or that don't really love them, but they want something from them. And this person might subject themselves to relationships with people like that because they feel like that's what they deserve. Or it could be because spirit is kind of trying to show this person that when they're addicted, when they're in this little boy energy, it's easy to control them. That they're not the man. They can only, from the place that they're at, they can only pretend to be a man. But to actually step into the energy of the man that they can be, they have to face the fact that they're being very easily controlled over here. And so it's not working. And so it's humiliating maybe and like embarrassing. I think this person might have to go through a sizable humiliation. That might be karmic to do with your situation, but it's karmic to do with their actions. Like karma means action. Like that's like, they chose the road where they put on the man face, they put on a man costume, and they were not, or if this is a woman's, like she put on her woman costume, her adult costume, and yet that's not what's happening. So when they are going to have to admit at some point, if they're going to get out of this, they have to admit either through like this dissolving or whatever, that they weren't in control in their relationship, that their partner was actually this way, that way, that the what was going on wasn't what it seemed, and that they were just kind of keeping up appearances because they didn't want to be called out. And I think that's the same pattern that played out with you. They lied by omission. They didn't clean things up. They weren't proactive because they wanted to keep up appearances. And they always choose appearances over the actual work because the actual work will suck in the beginning, but it will yield greater and lasting results. And this person just has not learned that. But again, that's the adult thinking version. So like I said, the way that they've looked at you has changed over the years. I feel like they've always been attracted to you, much to their dismay, because I think this person looks at every little change that you make in your life, in your appearance, and they try to attach that to things like, oh, well, people who wear more blush than they used to wear, it means that they're going through this phase or that phase or whatever, like it's something like that where they try to attach meaning to these like kind of like little things. People who drive, who sell their minivan and get a sports car are going through a midlife, and it's like, yeah, it's probably true for some people, but it might not be true for you. And they're trying to take the shortcut of like actually getting to know you. So they're still like trying to kind of like unpack all of those things, but it's meant to kind of like have that be a window for into their soul. None of it will make sense until they look at themselves and they look at this lack of inner temperance that they have, that they always choose keeping up appearances. I'm hearing keeping up with the Joneses rather than true, real, like reality, real life, actually having the real deal, because the real deal, you have to build it. You have to, I feel like there's something here about misunderstood. They have to be willing to be misunderstood. But I feel like at that moment of breakage, they needed to be misunderstood by this like pile of jackals that they like to hang out with that are like, like, with all their stupid, like, it's so manly when you like act like a child, we define that as being manly. Like, they needed to be willing to be misunderstood by this group where it's like, what do you mean you're going to like treat her nice and you're going to actually like, take accountability. You're going to have an honest conversation. You're going to, live in integrity. What does that mean? Like, integrity isn't cool, man. Like, so gross. But it's like they need to be willing to be misunderstood by those kind of people because that's where that energy belongs. Those kind of people over there on that level of consciousness, they're going to misunderstand a lot because that's just how things work up here. And they need to be working on that path, of which this person's separating out and saying, no, I actually don't think that's cool. Because this person does kind of stand above them. So if they're like, that guy used to be like the coolest among us and he grew up and we don't think he's cool anymore because he has a job and like, whatever. He needs to be willing to be misunderstood. If he's not going to be willing and accept that it's a part of life sometimes to be misunderstood and that they're actually wrong about him. He knows that within himself too. He knows that they're stupid and he knows that like he knows it, but he still wants their acceptance because it makes him feel kind of cool. He likes the dynamic over here. But if he's not willing to be misunderstood over here, he's going to be misunderstood by you because the misunderstanding, it's like he's got to pin the tail where it goes. And that's where it goes. Be misunderstood by the people that you're outgrowing. Because they are going to eventually grow too. And I actually kind of get that. Like it was going to cause like at least like 2 or 3 of them to almost immediately kind of like grow up out of this too. And that would have been a net benefit to their life and a net investment to them and their relationships. And I just heard their kids, like their future kids, like this man needed to model what it means to be a man and to be a leader. And it's like, I know what's right. And I'm willing to like lead up to that. So them not doing that was like, they were now misunderstood by you. Like, cause that's how they feel, but they it's like a very victim-y stance. Cause look what they've been marinating in. But it's like they kind of feel misunderstood by that, where they feel like you misunderstand their feelings, you misunderstand their heart, you misunderstand their actions, but they never cleared it up. So yeah, you do misunderstand it, but it's not your fault that you misunderstand it because of what they gave you to work with. Because I really feel like this person owed you some level of explanation or some level of clarity so that I think that you were willing to have that conversation or like you were ready to have that conversation, or this person refusing to address it that put too much on your plate where you were like, okay, well, it just must not be important enough. Like me getting the answers, because I feel like you needed answers about their, like, why are they out doing whatever they're doing with whoever they're doing it with? And you needed answers to that because you needed to know about their feelings and you needed to know about their mindset and how they operate internally. And I think you needed like the key, which is, hey, they needed to tell you that they're like emotionally volatile and that they're like maybe reactionary. Like they maybe saw you as something like that's a key that you need to understand because that you can forgive and potentially work with. But him being a total dipshit and also hanging out with dipshits and thinking that's okay, that's something, if he's going to stand 10 toes down on that, like that's not something that you can work with. Like that's a whole ass like decision. It doesn't really give like man, like, so it's like you can work with a man who's working with himself kind of a thing. And that's what you were kind of trying to figure out, but he never like opened up to give you any of that. And so, yes, you do misunderstand him. And it's like, he needs to take full responsibility of that. And yes, I do think like a lot of things like really got out of hand here. And I think that in your confusion, maybe you contributed to his confusion because you needed to move in the way that you needed to move. But yeah, so he's basically trying to figure you out. Every time he looks at you, he's trying to figure you out. But the attraction is always there. I feel like this is a group that like kind of knows that. Yeah, and he's just always kind of threat assessing. Like, are you going to be angry? I don't know. It's like he's kind of waiting for this to clear itself up in time. Weirdly, he's waiting for some type of big ending to happen in your life so that he can start over with you and be your new beginning, which is, again, he's just trying to outrun the accountability. But I think I'm going to leave that there for pile number 1. That is what he thinks about when he looks at you. There's a whole thing that is going on there. Okay, so I'm just going to place this back up here. If you've just joined us, you've joined us at the perfect time because we are in between piles here. And we just finished pile number 1, which is Kairos, and we're moving on to pile number 2, which is a sustainer. Even though the situation happened years ago, it's still nice to receive confirmation of something you've known all along. Yeah. Jess, you need to check out the Dread game. Burb and Bougie did a video on it. It's a manosphere tool. Sounds a lot like the triangulation control tactic you've been explaining to us. Yo, that doesn't surprise me at all. Maybe I will look into that. The manosphere freaks me out so bad. But you know what else though? Have you guys noticed? I want you to see my face when I say this, because like we talk a lot about the manosphere, and there is a lot of guys that like contribute to that and like the whole red pill stuff. But have you noticed in like the last maybe like year and a half, it has been actually very hopeful, because we have more and more men that are coming out and challenging the manosphere. And that's what I was waiting for, because I believe firmly that we have to check our own in groups, meaning like if you're a woman, like you have to, then you can speak to like women, you know, but if you're a man, like they're not going to listen to us, because they've already like deemed us less than them. And they feel like, you know, you see the guys that come out and they're like, if all the men decided that like we could not give women equal rights anymore, what are they reasonably going to do about it? And it's like, ew, like, thank you for revealing that that's how you've been thinking the entire time. But there's a lot of men who are like, I don't actually want to like hit a woman over the head and drag her kicking and screaming back to my cave. That's not really the relationship that I'd like to have, you know, like, so there's been more and more men who have been coming out and talking about emotional intelligence, but like in a way that men can understand it, you know, and where they basically tell them like, it's actually not cool. It's actually not strong. It's actually not manly, you know, and I just find a lot of hope in that, because there definitely is the manosphere stuff. That is a huge problem. I really do worry, especially for the younger women. Like I worry about like just the kind of, you know, situations they could be putting themselves in just trying to go out on a date with somebody who is unhinged and crazy as fuck. But there's a lot more men that are just coming out and even being open and honest about like that they cheated on the love of their life, and that it ruined their life, and that they regret it, and that they really shouldn't have been listening to those things. Like more and more of those kind of like, you know, testimonials have been coming out, and I've noticed that. And I did just want to say like, that's actually really hopeful, because I kind of was side-eyeing a lot of these men where I'm like, okay, like there really is like no strong voices like of them coming up to say like, I actually disagree with all the weird shit that you just said, you know. But anyways, may that man find me expeditiously. Nice. Oh yeah, I so desperately want to pursue that emotional evolution and raise a boy, and so you shall, I hope. Like that is such a beautiful thing, you know? Okay. So I guess if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's just put a little bit of compassion. Hey babe, hun. Hey Alex. Could I trouble you for a beverage? He's listening to me on the microphone and it takes a couple seconds. Maybe he's not over here. Okay, never mind. Actually, give me 1 second and I'll be right back. Okay. I don't know where he ran off to, but to be fair, he did ask me if I wanted a drink earlier and I said no. So, okay, let us move to pile number 2. Pile number 2, the sustainer. Okay. What does this person think of whenever they are looking at you and checking you out? Oh my gosh. Okay. So we have, I have trust issues at the bottom of the deck. And then also like with the sustainer card, look at the hands that seem like it's like covering the ears. So maybe this person is thinking about the trust issues that they have whenever they're looking at you. You drive me crazy. Let's start over. So I don't know if you're wanting to start over with this person and this person's like all discombobulated on the inside and they're like, I have trust issues. Like, you know, let me just get some more cards here. Okay, yeah, for some of you, I feel like you offered them something and this person was like, I don't know what to do with this because I have trust issues. And I don't know, it's almost like this person's like, I don't know what I need from you. Like to, but weirdly, I feel like this person has a kind of confidence like inside of themselves. And I feel like they, I don't know, there's some place where this person feels confident. And I think it's somewhere where the rubber meets the road for them, like where they're doing something. So this could be like at work. I feel like this person is like working to build something in their life, and that's like their happy place. It's where they feel secure. It's where they feel confident. Is like when it's just them doing something in front of them. So this person, I feel like their work is probably important to them. Just being productive in general. Maybe it's like their home, like maybe they're building a home. Even if this person like, has an apartment or something, like maybe they just got like an apartment. That's a very specific message for some of you. And it's like, they're building that up, like they got a new dresser or they got, and it's like, so they feel very confident and they like to think about that. And then it feels to me like then they see you. And it's kind of like throwing a wrench in it where this person's kind of like, okay, because I feel like they are drawn to you. Like they are very attracted to you, but it's like, they don't want to hear, or it's like they're kind of, this is weird because it's like fight, flight, or freeze, but it's like this person's in a frozen state, but they can't be because something is like moving. So if it tells me that maybe you've offered them something, I think for some of you, maybe you did offer them something. So I don't know where you're at in your relationship because maybe you offered them a relationship or you offered them a flirt, and this person was like, because I feel them wanting to freeze in the moment, but it's like they can't freeze in the moment because there's an expectation that their mouth moves and that they give you an answer or that they this or that. But this person basically what they want to say is that, like I'm hearing I didn't want to hear that or something like right now because it feels like this person, and I don't know if something happened between the two of you, but it's like this person's like, I have trust issues, and I want to tell you that. But also like with the Page of Pentacles, this feels like very new. And so I kind of feel like this person also doesn't want to dump everything on you. That's like, listen, I have trust issues, like how much time do you got? Like this person's not wanting to so this person's stuck basically. They're kind of like, they are weirdly frozen in this hell where it's like, they have to give you something. Otherwise, you're going to think that they're weird or you're going to think that they're rejecting you. But they're not, and they don't want to. But they also have needs that they need to get met. And if it's going to be a you and them thing where you guys are going to be interacting or something, they have to give you some information. And so this person's kind of like, how do I give you enough information so that and I think for some of you, this person may have just blurted something. Even if it didn't seem like that to you, because there's a lot going on. So like, they're just like, because the equation for them is like, how do I give you enough information that you need to know and that that I am in a state right now? So it's kind of giving me for some of you that this person may have had an incident happen and they, if it gave them trust issues, I imagine it's a hairy situation. Like, it's not something that you're just like, so, it's not like that, but you need to know something here. And, in order to understand where this person's at, and they weren't expecting it. Like, I feel like something about this, like they weren't expecting it. And I also feel like this person could have been like, why did I say that? But I can just feel this person being put on the spot and like put in some kind of weird situation where they have to advocate for themselves. They want, with the Pentacles, it's like, I need this to start very, very small. I need this to start very, very slow. What are your expectations here? And so they may have said something weird, but I actually think that if you knew what the trust issue was, you'd kind of understand, like, where like, yeah. 3 of Cups. Okay. Justice. Okay. I'm really getting that this is somebody who has not had justice in like a certain kind of situation and they're keeping it a secret, or they're still observing it. Like is another thing. Like they're still observing it. I don't know if this is with you. It kind of feels like it's maybe adjacent to you. Like maybe it's like it's definitely not entirely unrelated to the situation, but it also feels somewhat separate from you. But it's like, I don't know. So this person is, maybe they like need information from you. I'm not sure. Okay. But it's like, this person was thrown into like a very weird set of circumstances. And it was like, there's a timing thing here. It was like the worst possible moment. Okay, so what are they thinking when they're looking at you, though, when they're checking you out? Because I think this person does feel something for you, but something has like, just kind of like hijacked their brain. Not hijacked, but kind of cut it off, where it's like this person can't relate to that. They can't necessarily relate to how attracted they are of you, but I do feel this person's attracted to you. I do feel like this was kind of moving somewhere. It is moving somewhere. You clearly offered this person something, and they want to take it, but like they also are like, very suddenly, I just feel like this person's like, so, okay, so when this person, I feel like I have to get around something here to like actually get like, oh my gosh, I feel like this person's like wanting to cry. There's a lot going on. This person is also kind of stopped up like emotionally, but it's also right here because they want to tell you something. But I think for some of you, they don't even know what they need to tell you. Because they haven't worked it out for themselves yet. Because I feel like this person's like still in this kind of like observational stage. They're still very much in a processing stage and also like a gathering information stage for something that happened to them where it's like all of a sudden it feels like almost very abruptly or suddenly it's given them a trust issue or it brought up a trust issue. So they want victory with you is what they're thinking. They feel like they can have victory with you. They really feel like they feel like this is like romantic or that you can have that. But they also feel like it's got to go slower. And it's because of something that happened to them where they feel like they have trust issues. They know that this isn't your fault. But it's like, and they kind of view you as moving maybe on without them. Or like if they can't meet this moment, I'm just seeing someone tied up in a pretzel. And it's like the combination of the way the cookie crumbled, you know? But there's still a lot that they don't know about you. And I think it's like where you're going with your life or like this person kind of feels like you'll be successful in whatever it is that you want to do. Even if you have to like work your way through it, or like work your way up to it. This person like very much believes in you and they like you a lot. And they think that the two of you could have success together. They think that you're on your way to something. They think that you don't see this something here about them. I just feel this person really strongly feeling like they need to clue you in on something, but that it's inappropriate to clue you in on something. It would be like dumping, like just, you know. So I feel like this person is really like, help me. I feel like this person's like, I need you to help me, you know, help me, help you, you know, like, oh God, like I'm seeing them trapped like in their own skin, just kind of like, help me. Oh my God, help me. Like, and not necessarily like in their circumstance, but like, help me in this awkward moment. I'm begging you, like, you know, like conversationally, I need you to throw me a bone. Make this easier for me. I'm begging you. Like, it's something like that, you know, I want to tell you the truth. Like this person's like, I want to tell you the truth, but the truth ain't pretty here, you know? Okay. So when this person's looking at you, I think this person sees that you're interested in them. They do find you to be very attractive and they think that you're maybe offering them something and it feels like they want to take it. Like they do. It feels sexual, whatever you're offering them. They want to take it. It feels like there's a pentacle that you're offering them. They want to take that too. But then there's this blockage. Could have to do with work. Something happened. Something completely broke a mold. They feel lost. Like all of a sudden this person feels kind of lost and off track. Something happened to this person. Okay. What do they feel when they look at you? What do they feel when they look at you? Oh my gosh, could you get out of your head? Because like that's kind of what I want to say to this person. It's just like this like swirly stuff, you know, because I think they've already made up their mind that they like you. Like it is what it is. It's kind of what I'm getting. Like but they feel, it could be that they feel lacking, like they can't give you what you need right now. But it also could be for some of you, I'm hearing too little too late. Like there's maybe an offer here where like something happened because, oh my gosh. Yeah, because like something happened. I just feel that something happened clearly here to this person that they're struggling to process through and make sense of. And it hit them right in the fifth house. So I feel like this person could have been like very jovial or they were trying to explore like romantically and something like bad happened. It just feels like something bad happened to them right before. And they had to leave. They feel like they have to leave, but it doesn't feel like you. I don't think this person's like wanting to leave you, but it's like they have to abandon their emotions like in a kind of way because now it's like extremely turbulent. But I also feel like for some of you, there's something that's gone on here with like a friend group. Yeah. Something happened to this person. I keep coming back around to that. And it's like they can't get around that to get to you because they want to. They really want to. And they feel like it could go somewhere. They feel like you guys could have victory together. They feel like it's spicy. They feel like it's fun and it's like stable. And it could be all those things. But they were betrayed and they feel like they also have to make some type of firm decision. I feel like this person also feels like they have to look out for their own best interest. They feel like they might not be safe where they're at and that's got to be their number one priority. And they also want to keep themselves safe in regards of what they reveal to you because they're not sure if they're safe. And that's where I'm getting this person's like, I really feel something for you, but I need you to let me know that you're a safe person and that I can tell you what happened to me in time, you know, or that if I say that I need to get away from this situation, you'll let me. or you'll have my back, or you'll understand. Like, because it doesn't feel like they need to move away from you, but it feels like there very much is a situation and a group and like something that happened where this person's like, I need distance. Like, I have to take care of myself. I feel like for some of you, this is news to you. I think that some of you felt rejected by this person, but I don't think you were rejected. I think that there was a misunderstanding or something happened here. They view you as your happiness. I'm going to ask one more time because, okay, I think hold on. Because I think that it's going to mean a lot to this person if I just say, like, I hear you and I see you and I understand you. Like, you don't have to tell me any more than you just told me. Okay, I feel like this is maybe even what they're thinking when they're looking at you. They're like, this is how I want this to go. Okay, like, I'm going to be reasonable. It's not your fault. Like, that's what I'm hearing is like, okay, I hear you. This is what I feel like I need to say to this person to get them out of their head so that I can kind of figure out the way that they're feeling about you. And I feel like maybe this is the path that needs to happen for you to be able to figure. I need to know how you feel about me, right? Okay, I see you. I hear you. I understand you. You are confused. You're in like some kind of discombobulated mess because something here happened to you. And you need to make a decision. And you might need to tuck away for a while, or you might need to go away for a while. And you're not moving away from me, but you're moving away from like a group of people or like some kind of situation. Because I'm getting like, it's okay. It's like this weird combination of like, okay, what I'm seeing in my mind, and this might take me a while. I might think about this after the live stream because there's a lot to kind of unpack here. They're giving me a lot of symbolism. That's another thing with this person. They work very fast in their own mind. They know exactly how they're thinking or feeling. It's mostly with this person a trouble of getting you or like other people caught up to them. They understand exactly the way that they feel about a situation, and it's lucid and it's like very clear, but they are usually waiting for people to catch up to them. And so this person's more thinking about, how do I get you on boarding to the highway? You know, it's like you have to merge onto their highway. So it's like, how do I get you up to speed? Like to get you on this highway, you know? So what I'm seeing in my mind is, okay, because I saw the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Swords, and I'm seeing them mixed together. And I'm seeing that kind of 10 of Swords energy where it's that guy that's like face down with all the swords in his back, but I'm seeing watery. So I'm wondering if something happened to this person near water, or like when they were drunk, or I'm seeing the cups now, like with this little swords kind of like coming through them, where they were like, everything seemed nice. Everything seemed friendly. And then I was like stabbed in the back. This person may wonder if you were a part of that, or if you heard about it, if you heard people like laughing about them, because this person feels very targeted, but they're loving. Like this is a loving energy. And I think that there's people around them who, frankly, I feel like were maybe jealous of this person. Like they hate them because they ain't them, kind of a thing. And they really want to take it out. Like I'm seeing, like, it feels like a mixture of men and women, by the way. So it's like the men want this person, or the women want this person, and like either the men or the women want to be this person, and there's like a soup of like emotions, because I actually feel like this person is like pretty well liked and pretty well loved, but then there's these other emotions that people are not really dealing with to do with this person, but then they project all of it on this person, and I think it's actually made for a very combustible, highly dangerous situation for this person that they don't quite understand. So when I tell you that this person has a long way to go in terms of understanding what the fuck happened here, they have a long way to go, and it's going to end them up realizing that it was never their fault, and that just them being themselves tended to bring out a really nasty, gnarly part of people. But at first they're going to blame themselves, and maybe are in this current moment blaming themselves. I think they're wondering if you're going to blame them too, or if you're a part of the group that's going to say, yeah, you deserved that, or you were on. Because I feel like this person was very confused, and they were like ambushed, and they were really like surprised, but they can't. What they have to do, it feels like right in the fresh. I think that you caught this person right at the fresh moment of the beginning of it, where they had to actually pull apart the water energy, which is like the emotions. Like, I thought we were all getting along. I thought that you guys liked me. I thought that we were friends, or I thought that like this or that. And then like the sharpness that was like coming through. And this person's like, there's some incident that happened to them, and it feels like there was a lot of people around it. There was like a group involved or something, and they're flashing back and forth, and they're like, what was the intent? Like, what was meant by that? And it could have to do with like a person that they thought was like maybe their friend. I don't know, but it's big. Whatever happened, it's big. And it's like unearthing like a lot of stuff in this person right at the time that I feel like you came in and like maybe offered them something, or like, and you don't know that something changed. You don't know that something happened here, and it's enormous. Like whatever it is, it's enormous. So basically this person really needs that understood. That's really as far as I'm getting in this. And I'm still recognizing I'm sweaty. All of a sudden I feel like sweaty and stuff. Like, and just like, I have my hackles up. Like, that's also the thing, is like, this person's on like high alert, where they're just like, who sent you? Like, you know, it's very much like that. Like, are you here to make fun of me? Or like, I feel like this person's just really been through something and it's trauma. It's like, feels like it's PTSD and they're stuck in this like kind of frozen state and they need space and time to kind of process it. They don't want to take it out on you. I feel like this person was actually really looking forward to something. They felt like things were moving forward just like you did. And then something kind of like happened. And, so like I said, they basically need for you to understand them. They really want that. They want to believe that you believe that it wasn't their fault, that they couldn't have known. They need to hear those things. I understand that something happened to you. It's not your fault. You may even know some of these people or like a certain person. And I just saw you laugh like it's not your fault. I can tell you for a damn fact, it's not your fault. These people are all crazy. Like these people have this issue, that issue. I also, I feel there's something here where it's like, I need you to see yourself the way that I see you so that you know how these people are seeing you, and it also even could be that like maybe your connection has riled something up for some of you where maybe it's similar on your side of things. Remember what I said about this person? It's like the girls want to be this person or want to be seen like this person and the guys want to be with this person or vice versa, where the guys want to be this person and be seen like this person, but the girls want to be with this person. It could be flipped like as well. So this is maybe a highly combustible area, but I feel like it's put a target on like this person's back, like where people want to destroy them, humiliate them, sabotage them. Because I used to see this a lot more in the readings of I would see it was two women, because I feel like this is the way women fight more. It doesn't have to be that it's actually two women like this, but it could be a man and a woman even, but I would see like this red-faced, like wild-eyed person like grab your person and like shake them, and like they were messing up their hair and they were clawing at their face and everything, like, and I could tell that they just hated them because they were like beautiful, but it feels like the kind of beautiful that's like an inside beauty and an outside beauty, and somebody just hates that because it makes them feel less than, and instead of dealing with the fact that they feel like less than and like why do they feel less than, because it's not this person that's making them feel, this somebody here feels like it's their very existence that makes them feel like less than. So I just feel like there needs to be some level of insight here, because I feel like this is maybe I kind of wonder if this was sabotaged by a group that feels that way, but maybe about both of you. Like where there's something about the two of you, like your connection, your flirting, because it feels like this was building towards something. It's really riled people up. And certain things have kind of like gone on here. So they kind of need to hear that like you don't think less of them, that you kind of understand that this person was targeted. Maybe you were targeted in a similar way, I don't know. But something bad happened. Something really bad happened, and that's like going to be on a scale, because for some of these person's also sensitive on top of that, or like I think they feel sensitive because it's like they had their heart open to these people, whoever, or this person. I'm kind of getting it's these people, like this particular person, they had their heart open, like on their sleeve. They never ever would have suspected that people could be so cruel. They never ever thought that people would be like hiding, like, or like they never ever thought that this was like possible, but here it was possible. It happened, and they're very confused, and they're also confused about their role in it. When I actually feel like this person has to sort of process through this in order to like understand. But again, I'm feeling sweaty again. Like the moment that I say process through it, I feel sweaty, but I feel like all down my back, like, it's not like I'm sweating, but it's like this intense heat that's just like right along my spinal column. So maybe that's like a Kundalini energy or something. But okay, so how does this person feel about you when they look at you? Oh, it's all mixed in with this like guilt, shame, confusion, fear. Can I trust you? What the fuck? Like, it's like that. Okay, so but what does this person feel when they look at you? I feel like you guys felt the same way about each other, to be honest. This is sad. This is a sad story. Oh my gosh. They maybe know that they said or did something that got you in your head and that like confused you. They feel like you're their higher cup and that they can't accept this right now. I think they were trying to say that, but it's not a no forever. I'm struggling. Help me. Again, I'm hearing like, help me. This person needs help. Like, I don't know if they need help from you, because I think they kind of need to go be alone, lick their wounds, and then think about who their allies are. Because that's another thing, is this person, whatever happened, scrambled up who their allies are and like who they can actually go to and trust. It's like this person, this is going to sound weird, but it's like, I think it involves a group that they thought was like friendly. And whatever happened, it stirred them up where they're kind of thinking they have to go through one-on-one with certain people that they thought were their friends, and that they're kind of not sure that we're mixed up in this situation. And they have to sort of test, like loyalty test, not in a weird way, but just like they have to kind of figure each person out one by one. So here's a person who's dealing with a lot, who all of a sudden is alone, who doesn't know who they can trust, like, because they thought like the people who hurt them, and I feel it's multiple people, that were like laughing or like seemed like they were in on it, they thought those people were their friends. They thought before whatever happened, they thought they could have gone to those people if they were having a trouble, if they couldn't figure something out. They thought that was their like team. They thought that was their people. So I think this person does have people that they can reach out to that can help them with this. And I think they prefer it not be you, just because it just doesn't feel like you guys are there yet. Like this person, again, it feels like it would just be like dumping. And they don't want to do that, and it would ruin things. Like this person kind of feels like it would just ruin things for you to have to like immediately from jump, like help this person, and they don't need it. Like this person's also saying like, I can figure my way through it, and I would prefer to figure my way through it, but I just need some time. And I need you to not take this personally, and I need you to know that I'm not rejecting you. I need you to know that I'm fucked up right now. So like, I think this person needs to find their way to like a therapist. So they need to find a safe space that they can absolutely trust. And I actually think that a therapist might be a good option for this person. Somebody where there's parameters. They know that person doesn't know their friends. They know that person wasn't in on it. They know that they're paying that person for a service, and that might help them where it's like, they don't have to trust a friend right off the bat. Like, I actually think that that's like really, but they might not be able to afford it is what I heard. So that might be another thing that's like kind of closed down. Fuck. Like this person's kind of funny. It's like, fuck, this is hard. Like, whatever this was is like really hard. And they want to cry, but you know what? This person has a strong spirit, and I actually really like them. And I see why you really like them, because they're kind of, they're resilient. Like I almost wanted to say like this person's a fighter, but they're not really. Like what they are is just really resilient and like, very jovial. Like I think, one of their resiliencies is like they have a solid sense of humor. So even that, I think whatever happened to this person was like fucked beyond measure. Like somebody did something actually wrong to this person. And it was something they couldn't really process. And I think multiple people played a wrong role, even if it was like more of a passive role. This person, I think, is going to find their way to laughing at it. Like not like they know that it's wrong, but I think they're going to be like, I don't know, once they process through it, because this person's also not running away from like the emotionality. I just heard the emotional depravity of it. But yeah. Okay, so this person sees a bright future with you. They see things as being like really happy. Okay, so when this person, now that I feel like we've kind of acknowledged what's going on here for this person, when they look at you, what are they thinking? Like when they're checking you out? Okay, strength. Like they think that you exude confidence, and it's really attractive to them. They really like your personality, and yeah, I'm like smiling. Like this person like smiles when you're around. There maybe is like a lot of hand gestures or a lot of like eye contact or something here like that. They oh, okay, what's this? Okay. So I think for some of you, though, they see another lady around, or they see another man around, or like a friend. Because so if you are a woman, this could be a friend or something here. But they see somebody who is holding you back from them. Somebody that pretends to be sweet. Somebody that is actually very like controlling and wants to prevent you from like expressing your feelings to them in some type of way. And that's also the thing that makes them feel like that's this lady being around is something that really throws you into doubt for this person. Like whether or not you're a safe person, or whether you are part of whatever happened to this person. Again, I feel like I could cry. Yeah. Okay. So they also think about, 4 of Wands just came through. So again, this to them feels like a happy union, or that it really could be that. But then they think about something that happened at a party. Maybe something that happened to them happened at a party. Maybe you were involved, maybe not, or they don't know. If you were a part of it, like if it was your idea, if it was like your plan, or if like whatever, they don't know. But it caused like a big ending, some type of big separation. And they think because this lady was around, you didn't speak. Maybe this person left and they expected you to kind of, if you liked them, or if you would have got up, you would have said something, but you didn't because she was around. Either because of a kind of influence, like this is somebody who's very controlling over you and would say like, don't you dare say this or that. Like whether this is a friend or whether this is somebody that you've been involved with, or just the fact that maybe you've been secretly involved with somebody, and if you stand up, it's going to give the game away that you really want to pursue this person, but actually there's somebody next to you and you have to kind of be quiet because you're not a safe person. You're not a trustworthy person. That's what this person's trying to figure out. So, okay. The other thing, oh my gosh. Okay. So this took a weird turn. I have no idea where you're at in this, because something happened to this person, and it might've even been more than one event where this person, I'm kind of seeing them like pick up breadcrumbs, like Hansel and Gretel, kind of putting things together. So it could have been more than one thing happening at like social events and gatherings. Like within this group where they're like, I don't think these people are my friends. Like, like it's kind of like that. But I do feel like there was 2 at least big, like where this person was like, oh, I was like actively betrayed. One of them may have had to do with you, and it may have had to do with this friend that was like around, but it seems like it's a girl. And so I don't know if it's like your best friend or something, but maybe your best friend really has a problem with this person. But this could be a situation where your best friend is like territorial over you and is actually ruining a good relationship. Like where they are seeming like they're protective, but protective and territorial are 2 different things. But if this is a guy, or if you're a guy, then there's definitely a girl around that I feel like is a friend maybe, but have you hooked up with this person? Why this person being around seems to prevent you from like letting out your throat chakra when it comes to this person that you actually feel something for. They know that for a damn fact. So they're just wondering why you allow it. Like if it's not because you've been caught being a piece of shit, why do you allow it? You know, that's what they're like wondering. So that's what they think of when they look at you. That's all of a sudden making this like the earmuffs take on a different meaning. So this person, what they think of when they look at you is don't listen to him. Don't listen to the words, look at the actions, because maybe they think that you have like a silver tongue. Like, you know, it doesn't matter. Like, yeah, you know, he was making me think that he was interested in me. But then when this other lady was around, he had not shit to say, you know, or like, he only seems like he's into me when this lady's not around, you know, or like, I think this person wonders if you're involved with someone else in secret. I'm wondering if this is the way that you feel. Yeah. So did this person catch you out in a lie? Okay, so even if they did, there was something else that happened. And I think that it maybe doesn't have to do with you. It feels like a 1-2 punch. These feel extremely intense. Like, I think there was something here, like, there's something here that happened with you regarding a friend or like another person. I keep hearing it. So you have not shit to say? Oh, okay. So you have not shit to say? If you didn't say something in the moment, but you want to come say something to this person when this lady's not around, this person thinks you're 2-timing. They think that you want to sleep with 2 people. They think that you're a piece of shit, basically. Like, that's what they think. And so you need to speak on that. You need to say why you were with this person, why you don't seem, why? Because who do you love, right? Like, who do you love? This person's not playing a game with you. So maybe you thought this person was like trying to play hard to get or something. I don't know. But they're not playing a game with you. And this person also, like, they're not playing a game with you as like, you want to start playing like weird little games. This person is like, get Monopoly, okay? Play Twister. Like, this, I'm not playing this. I'm not biting on whatever lure that you are going to ask me out in front of her. I can tell you that. I just heard you're going to ask me out in front of her loudly. You're going to beg on your knees. You're going to cry in front of her, begging me to take you back. If this is going to get off the ground, that's what's going to happen. It's going to be embarrassing. Yeah, this person feels, I think, for some of you, the energies are switched here, but I feel like embarrassed. Like, now all of a sudden this person feels like scared to actually do that. So what they think of when they look at you is don't listen to a thing this person says because they're a liar. Like, that's what they're thinking. They're reminding themselves that you say one thing and do another. That it doesn't matter what you say or like how you like act whenever like somebody else is not around because you're a liar. This person thinks you're a liar. Oh my God. And so even though there was emotions here and possibly even friendly emotions and possibly like emotions with the group, maybe this is what happened like with the group, but I feel like there was another thing. That happened that didn't have to do with you. But again, I just feel like this group is territorial in a way. And this person is like deemed a threat. But it's through no fault of their own. I think it has to do with their appearance, actually. I think it's because this is a very attractive person. And so there's people who are clamoring for position in this group, but this person's seen as a threat to that. Whether that's like they're clamoring for position professionally, maybe. Like they all want to stand out and like be chosen for the leader. Maybe the leader socially of this group or something. I'm feeling the energy like really switch and change. Like I'm hearing the word poison, like and poisonous. Like I think for some of you, like even just hearing me, there's something that was not clicked in for you. Like about how poisonous you were and like how poisonous the situation was for this person and possibly the person that you were with. Yeah. Okay. So that's what they're thinking when they're like, so like this person thinks that they think a lot about your personality. They think a lot about like how confident you are, maybe how confident they feel when they're around you. Because there might be something that's different where they're like, I just feel like I can be myself, you know? But then they are just reminding themselves, don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. Like words don't matter with this guy. That's what they're thinking. Words don't matter with this guy. Look at his actions, you know? And so there may have been something that you said, but it was like, look at his actions. Like he's only saying it because this is like, I feel like I could cry. Like, is that you? Okay, I feel like, again, you're it's giving pile number 1 energy, because like I feel like you're looking at this person, you've been separated out, this person's angry, you've left them in the lurch being angry. And it's like your happiness went away from you. You have a lot of love for this person. Now all of a sudden I'm shaking. Okay, so I feel like this moved something. I feel like for some of you this moved something. We're like, oh my God. Like when you look back at your actions, I don't think you realized how much this person was tracking your movement. And I don't mean that there's something that happened that outed you to this person. And then like spirit, I just feel like spirit had this person's back, to be honest. And spirit was like, look here. And this person was like, oh, and then they tracked that one thing. And then they kind of started to realize something else here. I feel like there was a secret here, but you feel ashamed. You feel ashamed about this because you also realize that this person was in a bad position. Yeah. All of a sudden, I feel like, oh, this is like, now you're shaking. I feel like you're shaking. Like all of a sudden, it feels like a dam just broke. Like now all of a sudden you're processing and you're feeling the feelings that maybe you should have felt in the moment. Because I think you were too busy holding on to a secret. I think you thought you got something over on this person that you actually, in all reality, did not get over on this person. Because this person, maybe you even tried to start an argument with this person, but like this is them in like earth angel energy, feeling very like they're not, yeah, they're just saying like, because this is how I think you're kind of realizing like, oh, this person was in a temperance energy, even though they had emotions. Like I think they felt like things were nice, things were like going somewhere, but then also they had emotions of like betrayal and hurt and what the fuck. And they balance those out within themselves. And again, like I keep saying this person, like, don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. Don't like, that's what they're doing is like, they're not falling into the trap. They're not like, they know that you owe them an explanation. They know that you're going to ask them out in front of God and everybody else. Like, judgment. This is like spirit. This is God energy that's coming in. I'm literally seeing God. I'm hearing booyah. And I just, I saw this like, this trumpet. Oh, you thought you were getting some, like, that's spirit is like, this was never going to happen. Not with you in that energy. And like, I feel like this is news to you because you were trying to defend like some type of top position. Like you were this person's soulmate and that they did this and this, but tell me what it is then. Tell me who it is. Tell me who it is then. Tell me who it is. Acting all sweet and innocent. This person is controlling and embarrassed and angry. Like whoever this is dealing with you. Yeah. Now I feel like somebody just went back into their shell. They're like, oh shit. Called out. Okay. So should I keep going? Like how else is this person when they look at you? I just heard they see a troublemaker. They see a shit starter. Somebody who would rather start shit with them. Somebody who doesn't give. They see somebody who doesn't give. Okay, when this person views you, what are they, when they're, okay. They're like, stop, they just literally told me, stop shuffling, Jessica, because I don't check them out anymore. I don't check them out. I'm not interested in what this person's doing. So if you were like, does this person keep up on my social media? No. This person feels like they knew everything that they needed to know about you. It has to do with your voice. It has to do with, you didn't. There was a time when this person, they were confused about this lady that was around you and what your relationship was and why you weren't speaking out around that person. So if you didn't speak up then, and then whenever you tried to reconnect with this person, if you didn't say, hey, I know I left you hanging there. I know you have questions about like so-and-so. If you didn't do that, this person doesn't want to hear it. That was everything in a shell that they needed to know about you. And they cut you off. They don't need your love because they already cried enough. They've been done. They've been moving on since we said goodbye. I cut you off. This person's like, got it, right, done. So this person's like, let me stop you there. So like, even if there was attraction, because it feels like there was actually like more than attraction. It feels like there was like quite a bit of compatibility here. Like they were really attracted to your personality. That's the thing that I really have to tell you. Like they were really attracted to your personality and this kind of like confidence that they thought you had. But this is not a way that a confident person behaves. I think that also had to do with like your voice. Like you didn't speak up. So clearly you're not too confident or you're too timing or something here. So this person was like, I had this person all the fuck wrong. And so they were like, I was deceived, who I thought this person was. So basically this was like a breakup to them where they know exactly why they left your ass. Like they know exactly why. And so they were able to kind of grieve it because they feel like in that way they got answers. They got whatever answers that they needed. And they are, spirit, I think, has stepped in to help this person. And they feel like they've been swept up. They feel like they've found the truth that you were juggling. That's what they feel like. They thought that you were this or that you could have been this, like the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles to me is like a very noble energy. Somebody who wants to achieve in life, but like wants to do it the right way, even just for like internal fulfillment. And then they saw that there was competition, and that completely changed their view. And then they thought that this was like unevenly matched. And notice in like I think this person's like, well, there was this kind of Two of Cups thing, but this is the woman from the Strength card, but this is like a healthy vibe. And that's the Fool. So there's not a match here. I'm the Strength and you're the Fool. And that's got me looking at this differently. Sorry if this hurts, but I feel like this is something that you need to hear because you haven't been viewing it through this lens. What were you telling yourself? I know for a lot of you this energy is flipped, but this is the way the message is coming in. I feel like I'm having a conversation with this person. They're quiet all of a sudden now, though. This person is like thinking, they're having an emotional experience, like as I'm connecting with them, and they're like thinking, and they're kind of like putting everything together. Where they're like, oh my God, like they're like realizing the way that you moved. Actually, oh my God, like it makes so much sense. Like when you saw this, and then like that's when you started changing, and like for some reason this person just was not viewing it like that. So what were you thinking before? Okay. You were thinking that again, there's a lot of shame here. Like, but you were thinking that you really wanted this person. You were thinking that this person was like maybe a part of your friend group. Very attractive though. You were thinking that you wanted to see what they had going on beneath their outfit, shall we say. You're also thinking this person, you recognize that this person is like angelic in some type of way. I think you were thinking that you needed to temper your feelings because maybe it was just a work association or that this person was busy. What else are you thinking? I think that you were thinking, oh, well, I'll just like leave it. It's not that big of a deal. I'll just like leave it. Oh my gosh. Spirit is saying in that moment, you went from the King of Wands to the Knight of Wands. So you were kind of here. That's what they're moving you towards this person because you were in a king energy. And then in that moment, like you went to the Knight of Wands. So again, this is like you being a fuckboy. I feel like this for a lot of you, this is the way it goes, but fuck girl, if it, yeah, you don't want to hear it. You don't want to see it. Yeah, because you're defending. You thought you were in king mode. Nope. You were in king mode when they started to move you towards this person because they were like, oh, I think this is a hard person to find a match for because I think this person's quite mature, but like they have you saw in this person why this person's hard to find a match for because like they kind of got it going on. And so believe it or not, you were like moving towards being a match for that. And then you were like, I think you felt though not good enough still, like because like maybe something inside of yourself didn't see yourself quite that way. And then you were like, whatever, I don't like whatever. And you took that kind of blasé attitude. And then from there, you got demoted from like this king energy to this knight energy. Okay. Anything else? It's sad. This person saw you as, this is Mars and Scorpio energy, the Five of Cups. Mars is strategic, it's selfish, it's sexual. Scorpio is hiding things and it's strategy. And so I think that's how this person saw you, is like being all of those things that I just described. And Scorpio also really polarizes people. So you can be really, really attracted to somebody with Scorpio, but then you can also be really, really repelled. And so I think the attraction was already there. But then whatever that was, when they saw that, they were really, really repelled. So this person was like split on you. And I think that, look at this. Two nines. Questions about the past influence the future. And so they were thinking, I thought this person was a wish fulfillment in the past, but he also sits in front of this like cloth that hides a lot. Like what's underneath that cloth? So they were like, oh, questions about the past influence the future. I thought this person was the wish fulfillment in the past. Now all of a sudden I'm the wounded warrior. I feel tired and I feel defensive and I'm resentful that I have to keep exerting energy to defend myself against a person that I thought was my wish fulfillment. It seems to me this person is really, really not about defending themselves in a relationship. Like something that's supposed to bring them like love and happiness and sex. They're like, I'm not about to defend myself from you because I'm not about to enjoy myself in that situation. Yeah. And if there was communication after this, they saw it as very childish. They saw it as really not enough, too little, too late. But this is also like emphasis on the too little, like, because it was kind of too late, but it, like emphasis on the too little. It was way too little, like the effort and stuff. I feel like this is you, actually. I feel like you are, you're like, oh, fuck. Like, oh, fuck. I think you fucked a friend is what I think this is. This is Mars and Gemini. I think that's what you did. And then you were trying to like hide it. You were trying to move away from some type of tumultuous feelings. You needed to be honest about that. Whoever this friend was represents Mars, like is very selfish, is very competitive, is very, I'm getting like a headache now. You needed to send in a message that was going to change this person's heart about you. You needed to show the love. You needed to show the emotions. You needed to say, my emotions are with you. I'm sorry. How do I make peace here? That's what this needed to be. And for some, I feel like you needed to show this person something. Like there was something like, because it's like, I think the big question is, how do you make this real for this person? So I think you needed to, I saw you take out your phone and message them. I needed you to like show this person like messages or something, or show you like messaging somebody. That's done. That's done. See how easy that was? See how in 2 seconds I ended that relationship? That's how I feel about you. Like that's what needed to happen. So, yeah, I'm hearing Now It's Your Turn to Cry. That's like Cry Me a River, right? But it's a different song that I'm hearing. I'm just hearing, yeah, it's your turn to cry. I already cried enough. I've been done. There's a lot of like things about crying, but you know what? I feel like this person almost stopped themselves from crying because they're like, I am not about to do this again. Like this person is like, I'm so fucking over this. Okay. Anything else? I feel you having more questions, but I also feel you in this kind of like, you know, that state that you're in when you cry a lot and you're just tired, like you tuck yourself out. I'm kind of feeling that. Like there was a big swell of like emotion, but it was like tear energy, whether you cried or not. It was like tear energy that like kind of came up, and then like you just kind of feeling defeated, dejected, and like everything's clicked in, and it's like, oh, okay, anything else this person wants to say? They don't want to say anything. This person, I've been done. I've been moving on. Like this person's like, I wrote you off, basically. I wrote you off, and like if you are a guy, or that's the way it's coming through. If you're a guy that's different than what I saw, I don't know that. I have literally no clue about that, because the way that I think about you in my mind, I couldn't be attracted to you. Like I just kind of thought it was a show, it was a farce, it wasn't what I thought it was, and it's basically that. Yep, confirmation. It was happy. This person also feels like, what else are you hiding? I think for some of you, this person feels like you're hiding a kid. Or just like you're being you're childish, or something that you do for fun. Like, yeah, maybe that's it. They feel like you're hiding something that you do for fun that is unsavory. Yeah, this person grieved like the type of person that they thought you were. Are you that kind of person? I think that you know who you are, and you're like, you've been waiting for your ships to come in with this person, but I don't think that you realize that like how you thought you came across. No, it's not the way you came across. This person's like, you didn't come across at all, because like, oh, I'm hearing it's your cross to bear. Oh, that you gave to me. You ought to know. Alanis Morissette, you ought to know. This person's like, I'm sick of playing this game. This person feels like you ought to know. The cross I bear that you gave to me, you ought to know. So there's some pissed offness here. I feel like you should listen to these songs to understand this person. You ought to know. The other one that was coming through, I've been done. That's a Dua Lipa song, I think. And then there's another one, Cry Me a River. You don't have to say what you did. I already know. Yeah. So I think that you feel like you know who you are, and you feel whole, and like maybe you feel like you got whatever out of your system. And then you're waiting for like a ship to come in, but this person's like, you didn't cross anything. Because this person's like, get in that water. Get in that water. I'm not coming back. You're taking 7 steps here. Miley Cyrus, 7 steps. Oh, I'm not coming back. You're taking 7 steps here. This person's like, you fucked it and you'll fix it. I'm not helping you. Yeah. Okay. Like, I think that now you understand where things sit with you. I think that you feel emotional, you feel sad, you were hiding things, but you felt like the illusion that you put forward was bought by this person. It was not. This person feels like you were lacking in morality, possibly like there was an issue with finances. What else this person wants to say is, I don't give a fuck if you were struggling with finances. That's not the kind of bitch I am. That's what I'm hearing. That would have been fine. Everybody goes through hard times. You would have dusted yourself. You would have got back up on your feet. I don't care about that. I care that you lack morality though. Like, so now I feel like you understand where things sit between the two of you. That the way that I feel like you have an uphill battle with this person, because now it's like, how do you make this person see you in the way that you really are? Or the way that you feel like you really are. And I think that for some of you, you're going to have to take some L's here and just say, like, they're not entirely wrong about you because you did what you did. And then you didn't fix it. And so I think there's a part of you that maybe you're really at war with, or that you don't like to look at, but it is there, and it caused like a major, like this person had like a full blown allergic reaction to that on like a spiritual level. So it needs to be done. It needs to be dealt with. It needs to be looked at. It needs to be cycled through before you come back towards this person, because this person kind of knows what you're about. So I do think that you have a lot of love for this person. I do think that, but I don't think that you showed this person like who you are or who you could be, or like, I think you view yourself as being like integrated. This person's not viewing you as being integrated. Okay. So, that is what I have for you. You are not the way you think you are. That's the truth. Please, God, send me mature people so I won't go insane. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to put this back up here. That will be the end of that. I've been done. Okay. I'll just have a little sipperoo. Me and Soul are both taking a drink at the same time. You can hear him in the background. Oh my gosh. I was getting a monthly food box, living in poverty, and shared and did without for him. Oh my gosh. Yeah. The shirt off your back kind of energy. All right. I'll put a little gloss on. That was a lot. I'm trying to let this kind of leave me, this energy, before we move into pile number 3. Because also, like, a lot of times in pile number 3, I've noticed, like, it's like this kind of lingering energy of everybody trying to get in on pile number 3. Because it's like, wait, I wasn't done. Or like, wait, Okay, compassion. Compassion, compassion. Okay. Not in king mode, like that expression. It sure is exhausting to be the one that got away every time. I'm wondering if you're a patron, because that is some pile number 1 energy on the Patreon exclusive reading that's coming out tomorrow. I think I've forgotten to announce those things. But yeah, we have the romance Patreon exclusive reading. I kind of messed that up, the order of it. Like when we went on vacation, we did the From the Vault. And so this next week, for those of you that are on Patreon, the exclusive reading that we voted on was what others find most attractive about you that you can't see. And that was like some strong pile number 1 energy. Okay. So pile number 3. Little Soul's just right here. Being so cute. Okay, so what does this person think and feel whenever they check you out? Well, I mean, it has to be said, this is the mother card, and obviously I haven't pulled any cards yet or really dipped into this energy, but some of you might be a mother, and that might be something that they think about. Or like that you're soft and nurturing or something like that. Maybe they think about your home or a child or something. Maybe you have a child with this person, or maybe like you just met this person and they're thinking something to do with a child, or maybe you're pregnant or something here like that. Okay. So for pile number 3, Spirit, clear out any energies from the other piles. Okay. So for pile number 3, when they're this person on their mind, when they look at them, when they check them out, what are they thinking? Okay, this has come out twice now, the Lakshmi energy. So I think they're thinking about like you guys, like the prosperity, the family, like you guys having it all kind of a thing. What does this person think about when they look at you, when they check you out? That was a cat. Okay, we got Odin. Okay, so we've got Pook. Fear. We've got Oya, power, Yamaya, hope. Okay. So, well, actually, okay, you know what I need to do? I'm going to keep this to the side, but like, who is this that you're asking about? That's the question I have here, so I can put this in context. Who is this that you are asking about how they're looking about you? Who is this that you are asking about? Who is this that you're asking about? Okay, beauty and Thor action. So, oh, interesting. What? Oh my gosh. Okay. I feel like somebody here has tried to do something to you in order to get you to take some type of an action, to get you to like move, and or to make you think that you're the only kind of person who could do something here. I feel like there's some type of manipulation here. For some of you, you have to be honest with yourself about whether or not you've done this. Like maybe even casting a spell or something like that. Shapeshifter. Because for some of you, who is this? Okay, because I feel like there's somebody here that's like very regal, that's like not moving. And there's somebody else here who is possibly trying to manipulate somebody here. I need more information. I need like a regular tarot deck. Okay, who is this? Who is this person that you're asking about? Who are you and who is this person that you're asking about? So this is already telling me something because I have to like back up a couple of steps and ask some more questions here to kind of put this, which tells me that nuance matters here in this situation. So I'm just letting you know that not just in this reading, if this is your situation, that there's maybe a certain proneness, maybe not necessarily just for you, but like for other people because of all the nuts and bolts that are involved here. There's a certain proneness for getting confused about like what somebody actually thinks or what somebody actually feels because of, I'm just getting like for somebody here, the position that they think they're playing on the field isn't the position that, it's not really how this person sees them, but they think they're in that position because they misunderstand some kind of situation here about themselves, maybe, perhaps. Okay, so let me just see who, because it's important for me to get this information before we can even move forward. So who is this, who are you, and then who is this person that you're asking about? And then you can see if this is your reading or if the energies are flipped. So who are you, and who is this person that you're talking about? Who are you? Yeah. Okay. So you are somebody from this person's past. You are a friend to this person. And you could have been taller than them. But I kept seeing the Magician card for this. So I feel like maybe there has been some manipulation here. This person has like moved on. And I always get boundaries energy with the Ace of Pentacles. So this is somebody who's moved on and put up some type of like boundaries. So with this being the Six of Pentacles, this could be a lot of different kinds of relationships. So you could have known this person, like the Six of Cups, sorry, I think I said Pentacles. The Six of Cups is like heavily associated with children and like childhood. So maybe you knew this person from when you were kids. Maybe this was like a sibling or something, but there has been some type of like death energy. I feel like for some of you, you were trying to bring about some type of death energy via that Mercury energy. So you were trying to use Mercury energy, which can be manipulation. It could be words. Like you were trying to use that energy to manipulate this person in this relationship into a kind of death energy. So it could be that you were trying to break up two people that you saw were friends and their relationship was naturally kind of evolving into something, I think, sexual or something else. Like kind of deepening because there looks like there's actually a lot of love here and like the way that these people look at each other, it's like they have such googly eyes for each other. So you could have been watching two people like fall in love basically that were kind of like friends, and you could have used, again, that Mercury energy, that manipulation energy to try to end things between them. It could be trying to bring about a death energy, like trying to end this friendship, try to end this sweetness, try to end this, try to end that like kind of the transformation that you saw happening in that relationship. But you know what's funny is like the death card, right? That's Scorpio. And then I keep seeing Mercury. Well, there's a Mercury ruled nakshatra in Scorpio called Anurata. And Anurata is heavily tied in with abuse. And so I feel like whatever tactics that you use to try to end a relationship here, that was, I think, deepening, where it amounted to abuse. Like you used some type of like abusive tactics to try to suck somebody into like your orbit. Now, I really do feel like for a lot of you, this was like maybe a love kind of relationship, like where you were watching two people that were friends fall for each other and like deepen their closeness, intimacy, maybe like douchebags or like want to douchebags. But it also could be that this was maybe, especially if this had to do with like childhood or something, like I'm kind of getting like a weird Matilda vibe, you know, like Matilda is obviously the protagonist in that story, but you know how she like gets like very angry sometimes and then like it just sends energy. So I feel like there's something here like that. So you were manipulative and you were trying to end that. And then I think you were trying to transform your like friendship, which isn't actually friendship because this is not the way that friends or sane people behave. But you know, that you were trying to deepen that. Like you were trying to end one situation and then kind of like destiny swap kind of is what it feels like here in this situation. And that's the truth. And you've caused I'm seeing like this kind of coin flip energy. You've caused for there to be a real confusion here about the truth. It's big that well, I don't know that it's big on your part, but I do feel like this is kind of coming in. If this is you, the energy can be flipped here. It's coming in from the divine that like you would confront this after death. Like this is something you would have to know and you would feel like intimately what has gone on here, that there's like kind of confusion here about like, what is the truth? Who is who? Who are you? Like, and that's what you were trying to bring about truly. Like in this, you could have used magic, but it doesn't have to be. Like with Mercury here, it can be that, but it can also just be manipulation. Just whatever was at your disposal in terms of manipulating and hiding behind, I feel like the guise of friendship or hiding behind some kind of past connection that you had with somebody here. And somebody has like actually moved on from this, like moved away from you. So even if you succeeded in like breaking up a connection here between two people, whoever you were trying to like target or ruin, because I feel like you were trying to target one person selfishly and in a way that I find to be grape. Okay. Like even if it wasn't real, it was manufactured. You probably belong in a justice system of sorts, is my personal opinion. And I think more people should say that to people that do shit like this. And you need to process feeling whatever way you feel about it. I think that there's a lot of emotions here on your side, but I think it has to do with like your self-worth, your childhood that needs to get like processed, you know, that you're taking out on these poor people. And that's the emotions that are here. I don't think that you feel much in regards of like, you probably, if you feel anything, it's maybe just anger, defensiveness. Like this is like water off a duck's back kind of thing. Where like, you don't understand this or that. Like that's my soulmate. Like, no, give me a fucking rest. Like that's not what happened here. But whoever you were targeting, I think that they moved on, even independently. Like maybe they didn't end up with this person, which will be a problem for you. But they moved on and they kept themselves away from you. Like there's like kind of like protection, like it didn't have the effect. So I think you thought you had more control. Like I think that you applied a death energy. Like I think like I'm seeing kind of a crowbar, like if you like shove a crowbar in between like a door and you pried it apart. Like that's what I'm seeing. You did that. This was not a natural occurrence that happened between these two people, and you damn well know it. And you need to be held accountable. And so if you're here on the tarot channels, not just mine, like if this happens to be you and the energies are not flipped, and you are calling yourself a spiritual person, what the fuck? Like, what the okay, no. Like, acceptance is a part of the spiritual okay, I need to calm down. So, anyways, like, so you pried these people apart and you applied a death energy, but death isn't something that you can control. So, it still didn't, like, play out in your hands, you know? Like, you kind of, like, lost, and I don't know what you think about that. What do you think about that? You feel rejected because this is where this is going to lead, is to you feeling rejected and like still not good enough, because that's the energy here. But also like you shouldn't be messing with people like this. You're going to be rejected because this isn't where you go. And I think that you wanted like what was between these two people, but you got to go find your own person who feels that way about you. But you can't do that unless you work on these feelings of inadequacy and unworthiness that are being brought up by this situation, and watching these two people connect and like each other and want to deepen their connection. Because I think that there is some type of, you're wanting to shapeshift into being like who this person is. You're wanting to shapeshift so that you can get this other person. So there's not a sense of self. And maybe this is a pattern for you. Maybe you've like kind of done this. So you've been like kind of rejected, or you're the emperor wannabe. is kind of what I'm getting. I think for a lot of you, this is a guy that I'm picking up on here, but I don't know. And you're missing the whole point of this, that you're supposed to be processing your emotions that are making you feel this destructive towards two people who are trying to exercise their own self-sovereignty to explore each other and to deepen and explore their connection. It's like you don't want them to be able to do that, to like feel that happiness, because I think some part of you wants that. It's like you want that, and you think that it exists in like either of these people. So if you could pry them apart, and then if you could be with this person, that you would like, it's not the same energy. It's not the same energy. And actually, frankly, what you're doing amounts to abuse. And that I actually think that maybe this has been a journey like where you've done this before in previous lifetimes with this person or with these people. And because Anyarada is a soul who's been put through this like abusive tactic system, but they always pull themselves back out. And that's exactly what I'm seeing this person do, is pull themselves back out and start over and have stability and have healthy boundaries and be happy with themselves. But not only that, I think with this mother energy here, this person has managed to keep some type of like softness and some type of nurturance about them. They've managed to process through any trauma and like actually find a sense of like safety and security here in their life. And they've gotten some type of wish fulfillment because they know the truth. They found the truth that this isn't something like that, that this was manufactured like on your end of things. And that you tried to stir up like insecurity or confusion. You wanted to play power games or secrecy games like behind the scenes in order to like cause somebody to have anxiety and cause somebody to leave. This is horrible. And I'm just saying, I'm sorry if this is hard, okay? But I feel like, what the did you do to these people? This is hard. Like what happened here is that's hard. But also, I don't want to be a part of it. Like as a tarot reader, I don't want you to come to my readings and hear me talking about like these emotions and somehow think that it's anything other than like you've got some insecurities that watching these people fall in love, it was like the thing that you wanted to do more than anything. But in order, like you have to understand what that is, what the process of falling in love is. You have to know yourself. You have to be okay with yourself. You're not okay with yourself. And so this is like a very triggering kind of thing. I think this is maybe a group as well who it's like watching these people fall in love was triggering for you. You took it personally. You were like, that's a personal slight against me, that those two people choose each other. And it could be that you're attracted to these people, but still like you get attracted to people and you realize that they're not attracted to you. And it's just a thing, you know? But I feel like it's something about this was like, and that's personal to me and it has nothing to do with you. But the reason it's such a trigger is because you feel unworthy, you feel inadequate, you don't like yourself. There's like a lot of self-worth issues. There's like a lot of shame issues. And that is the thing that needs to get worked on, and like exclusively that. And that is actually your path and your process to love, but it's going to lead you away from the fixation of like whatever's going on here between these two people. And for some of you, I feel like maybe this is like a repeat pattern. Maybe you got a touch of the Ariana Grande where, you know, you really like to find the least attractive man you could possibly find. No. And then just break him up from a woman who is already punching down. Like, you know, I'm joking. You know, in order to feel like you're better than that person or something. Like, I feel like that's what's going on here. It's this better than game. It's a heightened pick me energy is what it is. But I feel like you don't feel the like the soft emotionalness of the pick me game, because it's not softness and emotional that's coming. It's not like, oh my God, I really want you to like me. You're in this kind of strategic power game kind of mindset. So you don't recognize yourself as being a pick me, but that's what it is. You think that you're like in charge or that you're in control. And, just saw like a dragon, like just like crushing, you know, and pulling things like apart, you know? But like, you know, I just feel that, this needs to be looked at in you, because this is a functioning dysfunction where it's like, okay, you know that you have this problem and there's a way that you can kind of like fix it in the moment, but it's like taking that drag off of a cigarette. You always need another drag. You always need another cigarette. You always need another pack, you know, like, so this needs to be kind of like looked at. And because you can be really great. I feel like this is also what this group needs to hear, is that you can be really great. Again, much like Ariana Grande, she's a very likable person. She's very attractive on a lot of ways. I really like Ariana Grande. I like her music. I love to watch her on SNL. She's very quick-witted. She has a lot about her that's like very likable, but you can tell that there's that kind of, you know, from, I don't know, growing up in the spotlight, it's like there's maybe not a strong solid sense of self, and like, you know, and she could be like great and she could have the things that she wanted, but the thing is like actually being happy or like actually being fulfilled with herself. That's the thing that she really wants. But I think she wants to be chosen, and she wants, but what's deeper than that is like she wants to be happy. I don't know Ariana Grande, okay, but this is just the way that this message is kind of like coming through. That's the way that I like view her and her like path and everything, and what she did is totally inexcusable. And it's like you have to be able to look at that, instead of releasing a song that it's like, 'cause I barely tried, which is so Gretchen Wieners from Mean Girls energy, where she's just like, I can't help it that I'm so popular and everybody loves me. I barely tried to ruin your family. Okay. Like, it's so gross. Like, so I feel like there's something here where it's like, it's ick. Like everything else about you is like maybe great or fine or wonderful or people could like it. But then like, there's this thing where it's like, it's, the rain be wavy. Thank you so much for the super chat, Jesse Kill Me. I'm finally part of the Patreon. Nice. I'm happy to have you. This person doesn't deserve the softball Jess is offering. I kind of am feeling that too, but I'm also trying to like, maybe see if this person can't like, change. I also kind of feel that this person's not really interested in changing. I can also feel that like just energetically the things that I'm saying has like put this person a bit on the defense. Maybe I'll just explore that. Yeah, because it's they got their karma by this person like walking away. And I think that whoever this is, they feel like it was love between the two of them. And I think that they have love, but I feel like it's like friend love, or it was supposed to be like, maybe they do really click on a level, but there was like a friend love or something here. So what are you asking about, person? I feel like somebody here interjected themselves very manipulatively. They hid who they were. They hid who their intentions were. Their words were meant to mislead and was meant to traumatize and like cause some type of ending here and control and like dominate. It was meant to do that, all of those things. And then somebody here like actually left, started a new beginning, got away from them. But what are you asking about here? You asking, okay, so I feel like they're asking about how that person who still managed to get away, what were you trying to do to this person? One second. Hold on. What were you trying to do to this person? Okay, liar. Not you guys. Now they're lying to me. This person's like making up like blah, blah, blah. Because I could tell at first that like they were trying to like isolate somebody here, I think, like make them be like alone. And they were trying to get people to blame them for like them being alone. So they wanted this person to be single or alone. Why? They wanted to betray this person. Why? Because their advances were blocked. Because they're immature. They act like they're nice. Why? It may even have something to do with this person being like religious or okay, and just to be clear, I'm not asking for like a higher spiritual reason. I'm asking about this person. What were their intentions? Why? Oh, okay. I forgot the question that I asked. Okay, so like why are you asking about this person? It's because they were like single or they ended up alone. Oh, okay. So, oh my gosh. I think this person is like shocked that they like, I think managed to pull two people apart and like still this person didn't choose to be with them. They chose to be single. And that is the thing that this person is like gobsmacked. Like, I think it's like a worse rejection or something. That's what I think. So, but it's because it was never right here. And also your energy is shit and your behavior is also shit. And like I said, these tactics are abusive. So why did this person move away from you? You're abusive is why. I don't know what you did. There's a lot of different manifestations and flavors, unfortunately, of that energy. So it could have been emotionally, schmegally, physically, mentally, emotionally, if I didn't already say that. Like there's some level of like ABUSE tactics here that you deployed towards this person. And they felt something very naturally for somebody else. And then with you, it was the energy of ABUSE. This person should have absolutely turned away. So don't let that confuse you too much. This person made the right move, the same move. They were in touch with reality is why they moved away from you. So that's why you're looking at this person, because I think that you're confused as to why this person was single and why they moved away, and possibly why they moved away from like not just you, but their friends. Okay, this reminded me of pile number 2 a little bit, where I was like, where this person, like whatever they went through, it suddenly made them feel like they didn't know who they could trust. So I think whatever you did, again, like there's a lot of manipulation tactics, and I can tell that you and this person don't have like this direct kind of connection that you were trying to manufacture. So maybe you brought in this person's friends. Maybe you were talking to these person's friends to try to kind of like turn them, to get them on your side, or to get them to say a certain thing, or to get them to do a certain thing. And then this person was like, people don't have my best interest at heart, and you isolated this person, which is an ABUSE tactic, and maybe you meant to, even subconsciously. Because a weakened person is more easy to control, and you would be controlling this person their entire life because they don't naturally want to be with you. It's like a buoy trying to constantly get its way back to the surface. So I'm confused why you're confused about that. Okay, the star. You like this person, despite the way you've behaved towards them. I mean, like on the very least, like a friendly kind of level. And again, this person's like a beacon to you in some way. Like you want to get back to them. You want to heal things with them. They stand out to you. What? Okay, so I understand. I just want to pause here. I understand that like we're asking how does this person feel when they look at you, but I think I might not be okay with this person that's coming in, and like actually like maybe I should ask that question. Like what this person, oh my gosh. Okay, so this message is coming in very clear. This person, okay, so remember, like if this is you, this is the way that the energy is coming in, that this is like very manipulative person, but their tactics are ABUSIVE. And they're for some reason shocked that this person doesn't want to be around them. And would choose to be single even though they like broke them up with somebody, or like it feels like something that was like turning from friendship into something deeper. And they're asking why this person, like how they feel when they like look at them or when they're checking them out. This person doesn't look at you. They're scared. They're traumatized. They look at the ABUSE. They have processed through that, how wrong that was for you to treat them the way that you did, with what all the manipulation tactics that you used and deployed on them. This person has worked probably through that one-on-one. This is probably a person who's very aware of narcissistic abuse or something like that. I'm not saying that you're a narcissist. I'm not diagnosing anybody, but like when you gaslit them, when you made them think that it was all their fault, when you like they've processed through those techniques. They know, and they have realized that they were open-hearted and loving and trusting, and that somebody brought a bag of bullshit. That's what they understand. So they're scared of you. This person is flat out scared of you. This person thinks that you are an ABUSER on purpose, and that you meant to hurt them on purpose. They don't know. They also think that you did something to their friends, and they don't know if their friends are like you and like think the same way that you do and like enjoy this weird shit the same way that you do. They don't know. Like there's certain of their friends that like said a certain thing to them or played a certain role to them, and that like made this it didn't so what you need to understand is like that did not coerce this person to like your side to look at you differently. This scared the shit out of them, and they distance themselves from those people because they're like, oh, you're not a safe person either, because you don't know what this person did to me, or I'm trying to tell you what this person did to me, and then you're gaslighting me about like what I experienced. So no, like that never worked is kind of what I'm getting. Like this person was never like, oh, maybe like he's just misunderstood, or like that never a day in the life did this occur. Like this person knew there was something that happened here that this person knew was wrong. Like they knew that it was, maybe they didn't know the name for it, maybe, but they just in their soul they knew it was wrong. And that is something that you did. And I feel like now that's you feeling like kind of nervous or like anxious here because you're in some type of delusion about this person, that this is love and this isn't. And you know, there's some good news when it comes to that, because when you find out what love really is, it's going to blow your ever-loving mind. Okay, but this ain't it. And you got to let go of this. Okay, because I'm seeing you also with like a tight grip. Like I'm seeing like your knuckles turn white. It's like I'm seeing you like it's like a stuffed animal or something. It's like you're trying to love it, but it's like that's not how we love things. And maybe you look at this person as being good at love. I think that you view them in this motherly energy. Maybe you really wanted to have a kid with them, but it's like because you see them naturally like playing that role well. I just feel like this is jealousy. This is like very, very deep, very, very strong jealousy. It's not love. It's not destiny. It's not an excuse for you to behave in the way that you've behaved. This person will choose you of their own accord or they will not. And any kind of like interference, like I'm not saying that you can't make your interest known. That's different than like manipulation. But like anything besides that is going too far. It's going too far. And I think you went too far with this person. I think for a lot of you, you wanted to like, oh my gosh. I remember in high school, we had this lady, she'd been like ABUSED, and she was telling us her story because it was like enlightening us about like the way that it can creep up on you, like those kind of situations. And she had met this guy and she thought that like their relationship was so intense and everything because he would say things to her like how he loved her so much. He just wanted her to, he wished she was a little bird that he could like put in the cage and like just keep her all to himself. And she said at first when he would say things like that she thought that was very romantic and like very loving. But it's actually, that was like a big red flag because I think this man tried to like unalive her or something. Like it like reached a certain level. And so when she was like processing with her therapist and stuff, like back, like where were the signs that like things were not exactly okay or correct here? She noticed it was like things like that. There were like more that he viewed her as an object, that he like possessed her. Because that's kind of what I'm getting here is like, I think you wanted to put this person in your house and keep them there. And like you wanted them to make an Eden like in your house because you feel this person is like a little light and you wanted to put that little light in your house. And they were going to be your own private little lighthouse. And they were just going to make you feel good and they were going to take care of everything. They were going to take care of you like a mother. And they were maybe going to have your kids and they were going to love your kids. And that was that is like that's what you think of when you think of like the 10 of cups. But that's not what the 10 of cups is. Okay? Because you have to, if you love people, you have to let them go. You have to let them breathe. You have to let them choose you or not choose you. And I think you saw this person choosing somebody else. And I think it did something to you. And I think that you wanted this. This is a karmic situation that you're very much working through. How is this landing? Page of Cups. Okay, King of Swords. Page of Cups, King of Swords. Like, oh my gosh. I just feel like maybe you're underdeveloped emotionally, but it's because a lot of the emotions here are just like toxic towards yourself. I feel like you really kind of hate yourself. But okay, so what do you need? Like from me in this moment. Oh my gosh, you're very much like, tell me how to get my wish fulfillment. Like, tell me how to like be loving or nice or sweet or something here. Oh my gosh. Okay, because this, I feel like it's sort of similar to pile number 2, but it's like this is a group where it's like you're not the pile number 2 person. I feel like, again, something like really bad could have happened. Like it was very karmic. It was very lacking in morality. And it was out of bounds. Like whatever it was like out of bounds. There's like a way, I feel like, I don't know. There's like a way that you treat somebody or there's a way that a relationship kind of like develops. And I feel like you got everything like out of order. And whether or not, I feel like this may even be kind of subconscious because your intention is to control and force. Like your intention is to force something. You really hurt somebody. Like, so I think you're wondering how you put that back together with somebody here, and you still are not letting go of this like dream of wanting this person and of like wanting to have like the family. I think you want to be viewed a certain way, which is why you want to be with this person. Yeah, and I think you even wanted to like be in with this person in their friend group, but then this person moved away from their friends, or at least the friends that you were targeting. I think it ruined like the relationship. Like this person was like alone. And I think you wonder that. You're like, okay, so you moved away from like your friends. And yeah, because they're scared to death. Like, so it's like you ruined everything that you wanted to be like a part of. And I need you to see that. And I need you to understand that because you're still blocking that out, or you're like very rigid and you're very defensive about seeing that like your own hand in that. And I feel like you left and like you were kind of thinking that you were going to circle back around. But then you kind of realized that because you want this, oh my gosh, you want this person to like, oh my gosh, you want this person not only to be like your person, because you view this person as being the pinnacle of, I think, femininity, but you also want them to mother you. And so you were going to like, I don't know, circle back around. But I think when you tried to circle back around, this person was out of touch with the friends that you had manipulated. They didn't continue those relationships. So they left, possibly with the clothes on their back. That is part of your lesson. That's a part of the karma. And it was fair that this person did that. So to answer your own question, Spirit is very much like, we got to work through this together. Okay. So to answer your own question, how do you get back? If they walked away and it's fair and there's no line back to them, that means it's like within yourself. You have to, I think you're meant to be friends with this person. You have to view something differently. You have to view something differently. Like, but I think it's going to make you feel defensive to do it. You're still trying to get to this person. I can just feel it. Like, even whenever I give you advice, you are like taking it manipulatively. You're like, okay. And then like, you're like trying to manipulate still. I think for a lot of you, this energy is like flipped, but I just feel like I'm meant to kind of like have a conversation with this person. So justice is like, you're apart from this person. And you also need to move away from their friends. Bye-bye. Those are not your friends. And you're using them to try to get like back to this person. So you got to move away from those people. If you're hanging on, or if you're trying to keep in loose contact or something here, I think for some of you, you were meant to like move away, or it's like, if you want this person to move back, then you have to move away. That's the thing, is like, and not like move away so that you can manipulate and then like, oh, just like show up, you know, on like a random Thursday at the pizza place. Like, no, you have to move away. So like energetically, because otherwise this person's not coming back, because they're not to deal with you. You're out. Like spiritually, that's okay. That's sanctioned. They don't have to come back around if you're going to be there. Yeah, this person's been growing like a very strong truth inside of themselves. So this is like done. And I think that they don't want what you want. Like, whether you were trying to run this person off so that you could take their place, you know, and like, oh, look, here's me and my person, and aren't we attractive? And like, it's ew. That's ewy. Okay. Or like you're trying to get back to this person so that you guys can be, it's never going to happen. Okay. It shouldn't happen. It's wrong for it to happen. This is like Spirit saying this, where Spirit's like, it's wrong for it to happen. You still have some type of plan. I feel like, is it worth, I think I'm a mirror for you in regards to like this person, where it's like, is it worth having a conversation when you don't listen? Because you don't care about this person really. You pretend to so that you can be manipulative towards them and towards their friends. But you don't actually care. It's like in one ear and out the other. It's in one ear and you use it to kind of bolster yourself or your position. Can you change? Okay, there's like a judge overseeing this. Like, I feel like cosmically, that's like, you're not following the rules, and you're held to like a different standard. It's very strict. It's very strict here. And they're saying that you do need to move away because there's like a big blockage here, and like you always fire up. Like you act like maybe you're kind of cooled and chilled with this person, but then like whenever they get around, like you activate and you kind of like start moving towards this person, and this person will yell at you, by the way, and they will have the superior position, but also they shouldn't have to go through that, is kind of what I'm getting. Because they have already made it clear to you where they stand and like the way that they feel. They've already made their judgment. They already like, and the thing is, you're just not respecting it because you don't feel this person has any, you don't like, you've only looked at this person through the lines of ownership. That's the problem. Like, you think that you own this person or that you have a right to this person. And really it's like, you just want their shell. Like, because you need to, okay, I there's something about this person, right? You think that they're the pinnacle of like Venus energy, like a loving, cooperative person. And if this is a woman, it's like you think she's like would make the best mother, or like, and you want her to like mother you or nurture you. Like, this person has high quality energy, and Spirit was saying, I need you to look at that differently. That is not separate from like their individuality, their specialness. So they need to be able to drive the truck in order to keep that. It will just wither on the vine and die when you are around them trying to control them, and they don't want it to die. And so they've had to protect themselves from you and your tactics and the way that you speak to them and like to their friends. It's everything dies like around you. I'm so sorry. That's just kind of what I'm getting. It's like the socialness, the social aliveness, the friendship, the cooperation, the trust, because there's too many manipulation tactics. This person knows that they're incompatible with that, and they're not wrong. So You have to let this person go. They are this like beautiful Empress energy. You have to let them go because you don't understand that Empress energy. You don't understand where it comes from, and you don't feel like it's something that you need to give to, and also like admire. And I'm almost getting kind of like worship. So like that kind of does remind me of Jesha energy, like in the Kali Yuga, where if you worship the Jesha energy, which is like a lot of times it is a woman who, like on the feminine side of it, there's a masculine version of this energy too, but on the feminine side of it, it is a person who is a lot of times that elder sister energy where they do a lot and they don't really receive a lot in return. And I think that that's kind of, you miss that in your vision for this person. You expect them to do a lot, especially the emotional labor and the nurturing labor, and that they should make you feel better about something instead of you figuring out the fuck is wrong and behaving better and that making you feel better because the world reflects something differently back. You refuse to engage in that in any kind of like social process for yourself or emotional process for yourself. And so I feel like in a way, this person's your exact opposite, like your exact opposite mirror, because this person's very fluid with that, but you will never let this person lead. You're trying to be in charge. And so it's just abusive, like is what it is. It's just abusive. And, oh my gosh. I think I'm about to be done with this pile because I just asked like, okay, so is any of this landing? And it's like, you're still looking at this person as like being victorious. Or like, okay, so if I do that, then is that me working through my karma and then like I can get to this person? And I'm telling you the answer is no, because this person has already said that they are not interested. And that is being respected by spirit, and spirit is leading you. Spirit is like, I'm almighty. I'm like, I live through everything, and I'm saying, I respect this person's decision. So what is it with you where you can't, you feel too good to respect this person's decision? When spirit's like, we respect this person's decision. They have every right to decide about you. So you're not on the same page. You don't want to work through anything because this person is just not interested. So no, the answer is no. You're not going to be reunited with this person. You're not like working your way back to this person because they are moving on. That's what they want. And that makes you confused. Again, you're like, why does this person like choose to be alone? Well, maybe they want to go back to this person that you separated them from. Maybe they don't want to be alone. What then? That's when you start to get wily again. I just heard we can't have that. Like looking at this. Oh, we can't have that. So you're deciding that they don't get to be around the people that they love, the people that they actually have a connection with, because you're going to sit your nasty Jabba the Hutt, snail ass, slimy ass there. And you're going to put a guard on basically this relationship. You're going to basically try to attack this person every time they try to reunite with their soulmates, whether it's platonic, family, friend, like, because there was some kind of friendship that was deepening, whether it was like a platonic relationship, like that's, it's like you sit by the watering hole for this person. You know this person's going to come get water. And water in the tarot is like social. You know that they need help. You're intentionally trying to choke and isolate this person out. You want them to be left on their own so that when they go through hard things in life, they don't have a community to go to, because to you, you're trying to own their community. You're trying to own their relationship or their connection. I think this is on a spiritual, energetic level where you sit there. You sit, like it's Jabba the Hutt that's coming through. So you're Jabba the Hutt ass there, and you're like, put these chains on, put this bikini on and dance. Like whatever the relationship is. And of course that's not satisfying. Like where this person, you're trying to make it so where if this person accesses at least like this particular group of their soulmates, that they have to be your slave. You know how wrong that is? Like it's fucked up. I can tell that you don't care. You are trying to make it to where you are the sanctuary, but you yourself are not that. Like, do you understand that you're taking all the people that are that, and then you're surrounding yourself? You know what this reminds me of in the Hunger Games? You know, like at the end where Snow is at the palace and the army is like encroaching, and he has the capital bring all their children to like surround the palace so that if they drop any bombs or anything, that they are gonna basically be like harming all these kids. And then like that ends up happening anyways, right? Because the lady does that coin. That's what you're doing. You're trying to hold this person and their like friendships and their actual good relationships hostage. And you're trying to isolate this person. You are the big bad for this person. You are the villain. You are the villain. You're the person that they need to learn how to get away from. You're the person that they need to learn how to see clearly. You're the person that they need to map out their tactics, and you need to go. And I don't mean harm yourself or anything like that, because this to me seems like a group that is hyper manipulative. And that's not what's being said here. What's being said here is you need to go. You need to move on. This isn't where you belong. It's like you're trying to force this person to give you their good energy. It's gross. Yeah, you keep saying that. You keep saying this person is so what? So you're like, so they're not my soulmate? This person could be soulmates with anybody who is sane. Okay? And I'm sorry if that's harsh, but like, you're not there. You're not anybody's soulmate right now. I know that that's like really, really hard to hear. But like the energy that you're in, that puts you in this manipulative place, that's what needs to get looked at so that you can even become yourself. Because these manipulation tactics, I think, have you shape-shifting to try and to obtain what you're trying to get. So that's the wrong approach. And that the reason it's the wrong approach is because you're in the wrong energy. So that makes sense to you because you're in the wrong energy. Does that make sense? So you're in the wrong energy. And that's what needs to get dealt with. You need to see the folly in this. You need to see that the end and the means are one. You need to see that by you having this response to this person, it will never get you where you want to go with this person, which is to have a loving, mutual, cooperative relationship because you're not in that energy. And you feel like you want this person to do it for you because they're so good at it. They're so lovely that, well, they know how to fix you. They know that they can't fix you. They know that that's a trap. And so they know that they have to move away from you. At least they do now. That might be the finishing touch on their Libran capping project. So you're wrong about this person, that they owe you something, that they're your teacher, but in a way that they're supposed to mama bird everything to you. They're supposed to do all the chewing and spit it into your mouth. You have to go catch your worm. You have to learn how to catch your worm. You have to learn how to chew it. I don't know what's confusing about this. It's just you're scared. I think you're just trying to cling on to this person. And I think you make them wrong when they're not wrong. And I think you misunderstand the things that this person says, or anybody that has any kind of Libran wisdom to share about like relationships and so like I think you misunderstand those things because in your heart it's like warped, like you're trying to do this like manipulation thing. It will never ever yield. And I don't know how many lifetimes or how long it's going to take you to learn that, but you're going to be in this energy. This pattern's going to play out. You're going to continue to misunderstand it. You're going to continue to have rage towards the wrong people, places, and things until you actually unpack this. And I'm sorry if this is harsh. I just feel like somebody needs to just spell it the fuck out for you because you keep lying to yourself and you keep doing all these like mental gymnastics. But the path forward is you need to leave this person alone. And you've embedded yourself in this person's like around them somehow, like in their family, their friends, and it's wrong. That's the wrong place for you to be. And you need to find out who you're meant to be. And I feel like you moved away and maybe you moved back or something, or like you're meant to move away. That's where your happiness is. That's where your happiness is. To leave this person alone. And not like a little bit, like, and not on your terms and not in a way, because that's all your manipulation. Where you're looking for a reason to talk to this person. You need to leave in a way where this person never has to see you, never has to think of you, never has to speak your name. And I don't mean to hurt yourself. And I don't mean to throw an emotional fit. Okay, I mean to genuinely do that as a gift, like in wisdom and understanding. So what I mean is that you can't just hear me say this and say, okay, well, fine. Because I feel like this group is like petulant and they misunderstand everything on purpose, like willfully ignorant, you know, in order to blame other people. And throw your little hissy fit. And that's a way you get attention. It's a gimmick. It's another gimmick. But then you kind of put yourself in, like if you listen to a tarot reading like this, you're like, I'm the divine feminine. And it's like, where? Okay. So like there just needs to be a dose of reality. And I'm sorry if this is like harsh. Okay. Okay. So I feel like maybe that got through a little bit. Like where something a bit broke, where you're like, okay, this is a sunken cost fallacy. And it's never, the more seeds you plant here, the different tactics that you try, it's not about tactics. Okay. And even when you come to like these tarot channels and people are trying to help you spiritually along, or if you go to like a therapist and they're trying to, again, help you, I think spiritually like along, you know, but, then it's not another manipulation tactic for you to like put in your belt. This is reminding me, I have a sibling who, used to call me. She has a lot of relationship troubles. And she would tell me like what happened, and I would try to like validate her feelings while it's not necessarily validating her behavior and like her be like, she clearly to me was like a big contributor, if not like the cause of a lot of the problems that were going on in like her relationships. But she's also sensitive, and you have to be careful about how you're saying that. And so it was always like kind of hard for me to try to say the thing I think that she really did need to hear if she was really actually trying to like get relief, you know? And then I would think that she was like hearing me or understanding me. Like I would have so many times with her where I'm like, I think she's really getting it. Like, you know, and then like not 30 minutes later, she would send me a copy of like this text message that I swear you could just be like, you know, that she sent to like one of her boyfriends or whatever, that took all of the things that I felt like I said in good faith and like towards like repairing and like helping her make sense of, and she would weaponize it and just like send it all to him. And I would just be reading this like, that's not what I said. That's not what I meant. Like, oh my gosh. And then I'm like, well, I'm glad that you stood up for yourself, you know, or like say something like that, you know, where it's like, this girl's just never going to get it. She never ever wants to look at the fact that she just wants to win the argument. And when she's stopped like thinking about all the things that she can think of to throw at him and it's still not working, then that's when she reaches out to other people for like their advice, you know, because she's like, how are you viewing this? Like, you know, it felt bad. It felt so wrong. And I feel like that's what this group is doing. It's like knowledge is not necessarily the answer, because every investment that somebody makes into your energy in that way is misused. So like you can try to get the tool of the knowledge, but then you're going to misuse it. If I give you a hammer, because I think you want to build a house, which is a beautiful thing, and then you turn and you just hit your neighbor over the head with it, that's shocking to me. That's shocking. Okay. And then you're like, well, everybody else gets hammers, but we're like, we're going to take this from you. And you're mad at all of us. So, okay, I'm done with this. And you know what? I just want to say this, okay? Because I know that I'm not maybe handling this well. But like whenever I started tarot, I used to be very sensitive. I used to think that I was much more sensitive than I am, and that I was like not as strong. I never wanted to ruffle people's feathers, because I very much come from a family where there's a lot of cluster B, and there's a lot of like, if you do ruffle people's feathers, or if you're honest, or if you tell the truth, oh boy, are you the villain, and you are about to get like, you're going to be, it's like, how dare you like point out this very obvious destructive pattern that's going on. Like we had alcoholics in there, you know, people that were stealing money, you know, like to the point where as siblings, like you have one sibling pulling the other to the side, like, wait, so if mom pulls over and says she ran out of gas, are you going to tell her that you have this $20? And I'd be like, yes. And he'd be like, no, you're not going to tell her, you know? So it's like, you have all this kind of stuff going on, and yet, I just don't know how, like, I know what I was really trying to say here is that when I started doing this, I begged Spirit to just give me the easy readings. I begged Spirit to just give me the readings where people are falling in love and, you know, everybody has a crush on each other and it's like, you know, moving towards that. Like, I wanted only those readings, but Spirit kept giving me, like, it started kind of slow at first, but Spirit kind of kept giving me these readings because clearly I need to like unpack a lot here to understand life myself. But Spirit said, no, you will help everybody. Like, if you're going to do this, you have to help who I tell you to help. And obviously you guys know that I work with Shiva. Shiva rules over people of defect and loves people of defect. So if you're going to work with him, like, I don't know if it's that energy. Also, like, Jesus Christ is like a big thing for me. Like, it's all of us or none of us, right? But there's a way like that this group kind of feels entitled to that energy. Ugh. You know, where it's like, okay, we're all going to move together, but it's like, you got to do some work here. You know? So I hope that you can stay around, but I hope that you're willing to do the work and like actually look at yourself. I hope you're not willing to lie to yourself anymore and act like you are all peaches and cream and sunshine and roses, and act like somebody who is scared of you because of the way that you've behaved. I don't know how you're making sense of this. Like, I don't know if you think it's it would probably make sense for this group that you think that they're manipulating. That it's like a big chess game because you're manipulating, trying to get close to them. And every time you do that, they kind of like shirk out of it and move away. And they kind of catch on to what it is that you're doing. And you're like, oh, see, like, you want to make that move? This person is scared of you because you're abusive. Okay. The tactics that you're using are abusive. I need you to hear me say that. I need you to understand that. I need you to work on unpacking that. I need you to own that fully. Okay. Because you can't be here if you're not going to. Because I'm not going to help you chase after this person on an energetic level or in any other way. So you have to understand that. That's the place where you start doing the work. That's the place where you're actually going to get the love that you want. Because I feel like that's what it is. I want love and I don't know how to let it in. Well, girl or guy, nobody's asking you to let it in quite just yet, okay? Because we need you to be alone. We need you to process. We need you to understand that how abusive you've been. And to come up out of the tactics, and to understand that the tactics are covering up the fact to be blunt, that you hate yourself. And I don't think that you should hate yourself. I think that you haven't, maybe you grew up in a household where like you didn't make sense to people and they got on your case about it. Or, and so you learned that you were like weird. And so you didn't learn how to love yourself. That's what I feel like this is. You just didn't learn how to love yourself. You didn't learn how to view yourself. But I'm telling you, like, especially when you start kind of going through this process, and I'm hearing like, thank you. Yes, this is what I needed. So like, when you start to go through this process and actually look at this and say, okay, I can accept the fact that I was this way in the past. And I can accept that I was so desperate for love that I hurt a bunch of people and abused them. And I was an abusive one. And maybe I was even projecting that out onto other people. When you own that fully and you start learning a different way to be, that takes so much strength that you can't help but love yourself and respect yourself a little bit more. And you can't help but look at that as like an entirely new beginning. And when things start to move and you start to get a little bit of progress, and you can start to say, oh, this actually works. And I'm not actually scared about my future anymore because this is actually working. And even if I can't go back and make things right in this lifetime with these people, I know that I can make real friends. I know that I can like actually build real relationships. And I'm excited to see what that looks like. And I'm excited to go in that direction because things are actually moving and it feels flowing and it feels mutual and it feels reciprocal whenever I'm meeting people. And I'm not meeting them with a tactic. Instead, I'm meeting them with my actual personhood that has been rejected. I think like the real person inside has been rejected. You know, for some reason, maybe you were a late bloomer, you know, maybe you were a little socially awkward. Maybe you didn't have the right pogs and baseball cards growing up. I don't know, you know, but just because that happened back then, it's like, maybe, you know how many people grow up in the wrong, like I'm hearing that, the pink pony club, I'm gonna keep on dancing. It's like, about like, I was born in this small town, people don't get me, but for some reason I belong at the Pink Pony Club, you know, it's like, but maybe, you know, it's like, that was like a dancer place, you know? So it's like, maybe you were taught that you didn't belong there. It could be all that where you're gotta find where you belong and you gotta give yourself that chance. So that's the beautiful energy. And I'm hearing like, that's the rom-com energy. That's the like, where you kind of like, you come into like that's how you do it. But you have to be a real person. And I think when you think about the real person inside of you, you think they stink. And why were they rejected so much? I just, you can't tell me to do that because I've been rejected a lot. You didn't understand a lot. And then when you were asked to kind of understand and make certain changes that were not a change to your fundamental personality, whatever spirit was asking you to change, it was not a change to your fundamental personality. The things you like, the things you're drawn to, that's how you connect with your path. That's what leads you to your actual soulmates. But I feel like you were asked to change a certain way about how you treat people or talk or interact with people. We all have to kind of do that because we're a social species, and that was going to help you in the end, like in terms of like your higher self, and you're going to understand that and like yourself more, and you can still start that process. You can still start that journey, but I'm going to need you to leave this person alone because I feel like you've been a nuisance. I feel like you've tried to make yourself like a presence that this person cannot get away from. It is no wonder that this person does not like you. Okay? And you're trying to bully them into intimacy. It's gross. Okay, it gives the energy of grape, force, domination, control. And I can tell that that's not in alignment with this person's energy. I can just tell it's not. And it's like, to them, you want to crush their spirit and watch them cry, but they have to sit next to you. And like, again, I'm seeing like Princess Leia, like next to Jabba the Hutt. Like, no, that's not the kind of relationship. No. And spirit is not on your back, and I'm not helping you to do that. I will help you work through your issues, but I'm not going to help you harm another person and be a nuisance to them. Capiche? All right. So we'll move on from that. Well, if this person deserves my love, then I do too, right? Yeah. Okay. Sorry. That needed to come out. And I know that I did not handle that very well, but to be honest, I feel like if you handle it well, it'll just go over this person's head. Okay. So we'll do general messages now, I guess. What an interesting reading this has been. You get the hard readings to offer us catharsis. I think that's true. Thank you for saying that. And it offers me catharsis too, because I don't usually speak in this kind of voice. Like, honestly, the way that I've kind of discovered and like moved with this kind of voice for me, it's been through these tarot readings, to be honest. Like, I mean, I'm the kind of person where it's like, I always have this person in me, but it's like usually I bury it. I try to be nice. I try to be polite. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. But then, yeah, sometimes like there's just certain people around where it's like they really are thick-headed or they don't get it. But I think that they do get it. I just think that unless you're willing to fight for yourself or actually like put your foot down and you're like, I am really not budging. And also I seriously don't like you. Like those people just never like stop, you know? And I've really connected with that here. So it's catharsis maybe like for all of us, but okay. So moving on to the general messages here. I just heard stop with the gossip. I feel like that's still like a holdover. Like I feel like whoever that is, it's like they're spreading some type of lies about whoever. Stop talking about them. Like, okay, so that I'm moving on from that energy. Okay, so Spirit, general messages. What do you have for us here with the general messages? Okay, Spirit. Okay. Spirit is helping you work through past resentments. And I think that's kind of what we were just talking about with the catharsis. Okay, and I'm hearing we have to work through those resentments before we can start aligning with our personal goals. Because I feel like there's something here that maybe, okay, so it's either there's something here that you see that you want for yourself. It's like a goal. And maybe you do have to like, if there's something to do with the internet. So it's like maybe you have to sign up for something online and you kind of like always go to that website for that program or whatever. And you always look at it and you're like, one day I'm going to be able to sign up for you, you know, or there's, oh, interesting. I think I maybe have something like that. But, or maybe you don't even know what it is that you want to do with your life. And it's because you have to work through the catharsis in order to get in alignment with yourself, in order to be able to get into the slipstream, in order to get into that flow of like, oh, this is like the thing. This is my personal goal. And I think that you may have to go through certain experiences even to like put you into contact with certain things that you might be avoiding, but it's like helping you with that kind of like catharsis. So don't be afraid of the process, but Spirit is here and they're trying to get you on like a higher and better path. Something that is like expansive. It brings in like happiness, joy. But there's a lot of negative thoughts that I feel like you have around yourself and it's keeping you, you are very powerful and you are very like capable. But it's for whatever reason, it's like these negative thoughts are kind of keeping you boxed in and keeping you like afraid and keeping you small. And it is justice that you like work your way through them, but it's not, it's a process that requires your like effort, you know? Yeah. So, and it requires you to be in some type of like balance or harmony with yourself. So Spirit is saying like, we're here. I feel like your spirit guys, we're here. We're walking you through like a kind of process. I'm hearing your blind spot. We're walking you through your blind spot. But it's like, I'm seeing somebody bump into things. Like I'm seeing it's a blind spot, right? So I'm seeing you kind of like walking around. And again, I'm seeing people like kind of like, I'm seeing you bump into things. And that's like maybe bringing up certain things or like it's mapping. So it's slow going at first, but I feel like it's mapping out the blind spot, if that makes sense. But I feel like some of you have been feeling this like lack of faith or like some kind of despair energy. They want you to have compassion for yourself, during this time. Because this is the process, but you have to be bumping up against these things and then actually dealing with them as it comes up in order to process something here and actually like move this forward and have some type of like new beginning and like new abundance and new manifestation and some type of like new opportunity. But you have to go, I think there's something here where you kind of have to go against the grain of what feels comfortable or what feels normal to you because it's like, I think it's avoiding the catharsis. Like there's a way that you found through that like avoids like tapping into something or dealing with something personally, like, but in doing so, you avoid that catharsis energy. And that is what actually leads to the shattered dreams. Like trying to avoid those kind of things is what leads to the shattered dreams or the broken family or some kind of domestic disharmony or like a misalignment or struggling in your relationships. You have to have courage. Yeah. So again, with the past resentments, desire to reconcile or make amends. So you have this desire to like make amends, but you have to like confront the fears, the anxieties, and possibly like reprioritize something here. And I think possibly what you have to reprioritize is like necessarily feeling happy all the time or like feeling positive or like something being easygoing in order to like, yeah, take up a path of soul searching and kind of like going within. In order to tap into like your quiet power or inner strength. I think that might lead you to a different group of friends as well. Or it would reveal something here about like your current group of friends, but they're wanting you to have like I just heard faith, harmony, patience, courage, like all of those things, like the virtues. Keep the virtues close to you. Okay, anything else that you want to say, Spirit? I just heard second star to the right, straight on till morning. Like they're guiding you. Like they're saying like left. I'm hearing left. Go left. Huh. I don't know what that means. So anything else that you want to say, Spirit? You feel my creativity. Okay, so I feel like there's a journey that you're going to go on that's possibly going to fuel your creativity. But it's like, you know how artists, like they go through a lot of hard things and then they kind of process that and they turn it into something beautiful. It's like, don't be afraid of like confronting, like going through things that kind of like confront. Okay. Left-handed path. Interesting. Everyone leaves. Interesting. Too risky. Okay, so everyone leaves. Choose a partner who can commit to you and let yourself commit to them. Too risky. You feel like it's not worth the risk, but opening up your heart is a risk worth taking. Lust, not love. Passion isn't the same as lasting love. Don't get sucked in by just good sex. I don't know what they're... Look, indecision. So you're afraid to make a mistake so you won't commit either way. Lone wolf. Are you really a loner? Or are you afraid of loving someone who could hurt you? Oh, okay. So, oh, wow. Oh, okay. And then somebody was just saying the left-handed path because, okay, so just for those of you who don't know, the left-handed path is not the right-handed path, right? So like the left-handed path is like kind of the crazy path. It's like where people do like kind of crazy stuff. And they say that you either like go crazy, end up dead, or get enlightened. It's like something like that, you know? So I think there's something here where it's like your intuition has been telling you to go left, but I think that you kind of view it as this like crazy path or something like that. Or like too risky, but it's actually you kind of closing off your heart because I think you might feel something really intense for somebody. And I think it is maybe like very passionate. Like there's a kind of passion there and you're like, oh, well, it's lust, not love. But I think like actually there's something here where it is kind of the total package, but you're scared to open your heart up and you're scared to kind of like take that risk. And you're telling yourself that maybe you're just a loner, that there's nobody for you. Like tolerating abuse. Any kind of abuse is not okay. You deserve someone who treats you well. Burned out. Yeah. So maybe you've been in like wrong relationships. Okay. Settling. I think you're afraid of a lot of things here is kind of what I'm getting. Like maybe you're afraid that that's going to lead to some type of controlling energy, or it's going to lead to you like, or you're afraid of settling. You don't know which way to really go. Don't stay with someone who isn't right for you. Hiding your feelings. You need to express how you feel. Because maybe there's some type of untrue stories. So for some of you, maybe you need to express how you feel to somebody because you might be actually telling yourself untrue stories. Especially because I think for a lot of you, maybe there has been this like other influence. Like I'm kind of getting like, if we put all three piles together, there could have been that pile number 3 person that interfered and like has caused quite a bit of confusion. And you might be thinking that you're one way or that you're dealing with somebody who's one way, but you kind of have to express how you feel. Okay, yeah. I feel like actually what's coming through in these cards is like Spirit is, they keep on saying that they're going to guide you down this path. There's a lot of like there's a lot of questions that you have in your soul about like, well, what about this scenario? What about that scenario? You know, what about like everybody leaves? What about like lust, not love? What about like controlling partner? What about like, these are all the things that I like don't want. And Spirit is like, I can guide you through this. But we have a lot of catharsis, like a lot of emotions that have to come up around these things. And we can learn if we move. Like, but we have to move. Like we can't settle in one spot. We have to like move. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I'm scared of making the wrong choice, any choice is the right choice because you're going to learn either way. And then, well, you know, and it's like, well, what if I should have really known? Okay, well then the next thing that you learn is like self-love and compassion. And I know, like, I'm sorry if I've contributed to this in you in any way because I know that I can get a little fiery, but usually I get fiery and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, are you stupid? Like, blah, blah, blah. It's when the people that come through here have been like knowingly selfish. They've done the things, they cheated on somebody. Like they've done the things that everybody knows hurts people immensely, you know? And it's like, they're not putting two and two together. And so I know that I should kind of restrain myself a little bit more. But just because you make a mistake in a relationship, or you end up with somebody this way or that way, and you're trying to figure out how to navigate your system from within, and it's not always going well all the time, does not mean that you're stupid or that you're dumb or that you're worthy of wrath in any way. And I could be a little bit better about that, but it's like we have to bolster ourselves. I just heard like take heart and to like fully live our lives, and to allow yourself to have a full human experience, and to know that like what risks you're willing to take for yourself and what you're not willing to take. Like to have like this kind of well-developed internal process where you have your own back. And that includes when you mess up, where you're like, okay, I know if I mess up that I can still love myself and accept myself. I can understand why I did that. I can learn from it. I can move on. I still love myself. And some of you might want to do tapping, like, look into like tapping and just say, even though I made this mistake, I still love and accept myself. Even though I made this mistake, I still love and accept myself. Even though I made this mistake, I still love and accept myself. Those are like the points. But you can like learn tapping, and you can be more specific. Like, even though I slept with that guy, I still love and accept myself, whatever, and just kind of work that way through. Cause the tapping, I don't know, it's a way of doing like energy work on yourself and kind of like moving the energy, like kind of in your body, but like work on, I still love and accept myself. That's like the most important part. Even though I made this mistake, or even though I'm scared I'm going to make a mistake and I've been holding myself back, or, even though the world is a scary place and I feel very small, and you never know what's going on for a person, like around them or beside them or like inside their mind, like I can only do what I can do and I still love and accept myself, like really work on bringing that like self-advocacy and like, and for some of you, I'm hearing like, this might actually be a sign, like you might actually have low self-worth. Maybe you're higher functioning than some of the people that you've been involved with, like meaning that like, especially in relationships where even though you have this low self-worth, you still haven't like treated people in a certain way because you know better than to do that. You know that that's like something wrong. It's the golden rule, treat other people the way that you'd like to be treated. But you could be drawing these kind of people into your life because they mirror back like this self-worth issue where you're like, you can clearly see that they have like some type of low self-worth, but also like potentially there's something like really opposite, like that person's like very abusive or something. And so you're like, why would I have to meet that person? But I think what it's reflecting back is this like kind of low self-worth where like something about the way you were behaving, like you ignored the red flags because you were trying to give this person too many benefits of the doubt because you have this kind of like low self-worth or like low self-esteem or something that you were kind of like trying to work through. So it's about like, and I think that ties back into what I was saying of like, I still love and accept myself, where that's like high self-esteem too, where it's like, I value myself and I want to give myself like the opportunity to live a full and rich life. And that includes having like a wide array of experiences. And I want to give myself that opportunity. And I value myself enough to do that as well, So, I don't know. Yeah. Opportunities, choices, like, and find like, this has to do with like first, like coming back to temperance within yourself, recognizing like all the things that you like kind of, I'm hearing like put it all together, like as this kind of capping course. That's how you can trust yourself, like to move forward. They've kind of been showing you the energy to like move forward, but they need you to put it all together. And it's like the main thing is like to trust yourself and to trust your intuition, which means to not be rushed into anything. Don't make any impulsive choices. Like if someone's trying to goad you into something very impulsively, like just always take a moment. Nothing is really ever that urgent. It's a very rare thing, like especially like in relationships. If someone's like, you have to make this decision by tonight, it's like, I will take as much time as I need to make this decision. And if that's going to be a problem, the decision is made, and like really just kind of let it go. But it's like, allow yourself to be in that temperance state. Take stock of yourself. Know when you are above your own baseline. Know how to bring yourself back down to baseline. Do that first before you make any like big decisions of consequence. And that'll go a long way. I just heard that'll go a long way. Just like I don't make impulsive decisions. I don't have to decide right now. And if I ever feel like kind of put on the spot, that's what I can do. I can give myself some time to get myself back to where I feel calm and I feel neutral and I feel like I can trust any decision that I make for myself, So if you are self-aware, but only see the negatives about yourself, no, you're not. Ouch. Yeah, that's so true. That was another thing. Like, I think I was, cause I was reading about low self-worth, and that was another thing that I think was, on that list. Like whenever I was reading about it, it was like, that you only see the negatives about yourself and like not the positives, or like you always you take on too much of the burden or too much of the responsibilities because you know all the things that you could have, should have, would have done, but you're only like criticizing yourself instead of and possibly like not even the other people that are involved, because you give them more leeway than like actually you give yourself, kind of a thing. So all these can be signs of, maybe even look into it, like, you know, how does low self-worth manifest, how to like heal it or work through it or get over it. Like maybe there's a workbook, maybe there's a book, maybe there's some YouTube videos that can like help through. But maybe that's why these people kind of keep getting pulled into your sphere. Because remember at the beginning of this general messages, it was like, find a partner that you can commit to and that they'll commit to you. And like, you know, yeah. And maybe some of you are like, well, how do I really find that? But okay. So anyways, I think I'm going to leave that there. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. This was kind of a longer one, but hey, we didn't have one last time. And we have a Patreon reading tomorrow. And again, it was what others find most attractive about you that you can't see. And then the next one for next week is the non-romance reading. And we voted on what karma needs clearing up. So that's kind of interesting, but that's what I have for you guys. Thanks for being my people, and I'll see you whenever I see you. Bye.